The train headed for Sunset City will be departing soon.
You got that freaking link for me so I can tweet it or blue sky it?
Oh God, that actually...
I've already blue skied it. I don't really understand though. But we are live now. They can hear us.
They can hear us now?
They can, yeah.
Okay. Hey guys, Sunset City time. I hope you guys are ready for a great wholesome conversation with nothing weird at all.
Well, yeah, we're discussing Sonic games today.
You guys ever go for a wipe and then you never... I'm kidding.
Are you serious?
I have nothing for that.
You can't not finish
I had nothing
that
for
sentence. That. You cannot not finish that.
I had nothing for that one.
Talking about a wipeout.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, I put the link in the back rooms. So there you go. You get it. Who was to intro today? That's you, Trey. You want to intro today.
That's me. Okay.
You made a little noise.
Are we doing that right now? Hold on. Give me just a second.
You moaned.
Well, we're live currently. Yeah.
We are live. Okay. I'm so sorry.
He needs a little time.
No, it's okay.
He needs a second. He's got to get on his phone real quick.
No, I don't actually. Not at the moment. I'll let you know if I do.
Drive into a tornado with his window open.
That tornado's carrying Trey.
Okay, can y'all hear me?
Yes, we could hear you.
Yes.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sunset City, the Sonic podcast for the classic and modern age. I am one of the hosts, Trey. Hello.
Hello.
We have thank you. I'm glad someone responded. Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Dylan's the only good friend.
I was gonna wait until it's my turn.
Okay,
I turned over a new leaf.
Look, the reason I didn't say that, the reason I didn't say anything is because I've discovered that I can only really do one thing at a time, and I'm sharing the podcast.
Nice.
Okay.
How very feminine of you.
So now,
mean?
we have. I'm just going to go down the list. We have one of our hosts, Dylan. Dylan Gorilla.
Hello, I'm here.
Gorilla 64. Yeah.
Gorilla 64.
I initially kind of heard like George Foreman Gorilla 64.
George Foreman Gorilla 64.
Interesting.
And next up we have Gotta Be Frank.
Hello.
And then lastly, and like arguably leastly is our host Channel Pup.
Lastly, maybe. Leastly, maybe. But at least not lunchly. Okay.
Yeah, true.
Finding any moldy, cheese beneath my foreskin. I tell you what.
Lead poisoning.
We have mold. That's what we have.
We got lead, mold, and a garbage bottle of Prime.
And feeling oh so very old.
Yep. Oh man. Whew.
All right.
I love you guys.
What about the?
It's gonna be a good episode.
Trey. What about the housekeeping?
Thank you.
What about our housekeeping?
Yeah, housekeeping.
Oh yeah, housekeeping.
I knew
all
you
right.
say that.
So housekeeping. I always forget that for some reason.
Housekeeping. But you want towel?
Housekeeping. Super chats will be read at the end of the stream. We appreciate everyone who. Yes. Well, we just appreciate any sort of anybody that ends up giving. It's
you are
much appreciated.
Encouraged to give. You will receive YouTube validation, and there is nothing.
You are not yet like you. There's nothing more valuable than. Okay.
I can think of several things that are more valuable.
Don't stop it, Dylan. I'm trying to sell here. Okay?
If you want to support us, we have a Patreon. Support us on there.
You wonder why the dealership, the manager, Mr. Cotton, always looks at you funny, Dylan, because you don't upsell. Look at my sales chart. Look how much higher it is. Mr. Cotton thinks I'm great at selling vehicles. You, on the other hand, couldn't even sell a rotisserie chicken. You are defunct.
Is there anything I'm missing?
Are you kidding me? I could sell a chicken like that. I could sell a chicken immediately.
Oh, easily. You just go to me. Get me to buy the chicken. Yeah, there's one more thing. It's a quick peer into the fish tank. We got 6 fishies.
Hey, we got 6? Oh, wow. Okay.
Hello, fishies. Yeah. Sorry, no Fortnite this time.
Little glub glub. Speaking of fish, I saw Venom 3 today.
Was there a Venom fish?
There was a Venom fish, yeah.
Okay, cool.
I looked at the ending today because I don't think I'm gonna see it, to be honest.
No spoilers.
I won't. I would never do that.
This is that one called The Last Dance, right?
Yes.
Yep.
So it's him. It's him with the Chicago Bulls.
I don't get it.
Frank, it's a sports joke. I don't understand.
Yeah, sorry.
There is a documentary series called The Last Dance, and it's about the Chicago Bulls team that Michael Jordan was on.
Again, as a non-sports person, why would I have ever seen that?
I could have sworn I've sent this image before, but I will send it in the back rooms.
I watched the skeleton thing that you sent me, like what skeletons eat.
Oh, I love that one. That's one of my favorite videos.
It was a proper little goblin.
What is a skeleton's favorite snack? Go on, guess.
Guess, damn it!
Guess, damn you! Why do you fail me so often? Literally puppet all of us for no reason. Why do you fail me so often?
Wait, there's no way that image is bigger than 10 megabytes. Fuck you, Discord. Fuck you. I'm not paying for your fucking memory limit bullshit.
Okay.
You stinking Discord.
Sonic X Shadow Generations released officially today, but we did get the early access thing for
Wait, can I interrupt you very quickly for something? Just a very funny
Shout out
reason.
to Sega.
Pup.
I was saying
when you cut out on Discord, you sound like a YouTube poop sometimes, because like you literally cut out. You were like Sonic X Shadow Generation, but I heard Sonic Chess. YouTube poop.
That is true.
You know, our favorite game, Sauce Genj. Anyways.
It's like Sonic X Generations.
There was the early access thing for digital deluxe buyers. So a lot of us got that. A lot of us have been playing it. There were also review codes as well. Frank, is this your first time you've ever been given a review code?
No, it is not.
Well, it's my first time I ever got a review code, so hell yeah.
He's been gloating about this for days, and I completely understand why.
I'm just happy I've finally been recognized, okay? It's like Senpai finally noticed me. But
I'm very glad that you have this experience, that you really wanted something and they acknowledged you. It's very good.
It means a lot, okay? It means I matter as far as they're concerned.
I'm not being sarcastic. I'm being serious.
Yeah, no, seriously. Like we're being honest. Like, yeah, it feels great to be seen by the company who's.
Look, damn it!
We make content based on their IP.
In my victory, then. Okay. Anyways, yeah, the game is now officially out. We got a launch trailer today as well. We can just very quickly discuss that, because have you guys seen it?
Ooh. Yeah, the animation was really nice. Like we've come a long way. Let's say from like the garbage animation of several years ago.
To be fair, I think whenever they've had Marza Animation Planet do animation for it, it's looked good. This one doesn't look like Marza. It looks like a different thing. I reckon it's probably the same studio that did that little CGI trailer for Sonic Forces Speed Battle, or Sonic Forces Mobile anyway. Because there was that trailer. I remember, like, the thing I remember it for is like Silver not having his eyeshadow. But like,
oh yeah,
it looks a little bit more plastic. Then again, Green Hill looks way more detailed. It looks more like the movie Green Hill. And a lot of people have noticed that.
It's like a less detailed version of the movie one, but still have a lot of detail in it.
Yeah, and a lot of people have
really
kind of
weird.
pointed out that this trailer also apes the movies in other areas as well, in that like modern Sonic and classic Sonic are shown charging up using like electricity power, and that's very much a movie coded thing. Some people are feeling differently about it. I don't really give a shit, personally, because I can't think of an objective reason why that should be a bad thing. But I will say, I prefer when it's wind, because I think electricity and speedsters are so synonymous at this point that it's kind of just nice to have something different. But, you know, again, no objective issue there, so I don't really care.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But it was a cool
I think it can't really sell me on the game. I have it already, so whatever.
I mean,
it's fine.
I mean, that's the thing, is that, like, the launch trailer is mainly for people who were, like, still kind of sitting on the fence, in my opinion. And it's like, oh, it's out. And then they're like, okay, might as well just snag it. Anyone who wanted it already has it. You know?
I mean, yeah, the purpose of, like, a launch trailer as well is usually just to get those last few stragglers. It's like final trailers.
Exactly.
Because if you ever notice, like, usually, like, when you get, like, a cape shit movie or something, the theatrical trailer or the first trailer is all action and stuff, but then the final trailer will show a bit more of like the inner character working and stuff, and that is because they want to sell those people that weren't necessarily impressed by the earlier trailers. Say, hey, there's a little something else in this movie as well. But anyways, that's trailers for you. The game is finally here. Where do we want to start with this discussion?
Sales numbers, 1 million.
Probably start with saying, just like the title says, we're not going to be spoiling anything. This is not a spoiler review, so if you haven't played the game yet, you can still watch this. We're not going to be talking about anything that hasn't been in trailers.
Yeah, we won't talk about anything like story-wise or anything like that.
Right.
But
no final boss, no secret stuff.
No final boss, no final level of Shadow. Maybe, we could just kind of mention that Sonic Generations has had a rewrite and just kind of talk a little loosey-goosey about that, but, I don't think we should necessarily...
For that, I feel like it's not the biggest deal, because the rewrite really doesn't change the story, it just changes how certain lines are said and inserts more references.
Yeah.
That's really
I will say,
what it is.
I will say this, are we, jumping into, the cutscene stuff for Sonic Generations?
I would say we should just discuss Sonic Generations first, I guess.
But
I do want to... I do want to know, because Frank, you just said a minute ago that it sold 1 million copies, and I do think it is worth mentioning quickly the reception of this game so far. It's been getting great reviews, generally across the board, generally favorable, and which is incredible for, a 3D Sonic game as well. Usually, even the good ones tend to get quite a harsh rap. But generally across the board, people have been screaming their praise at this. Is going to become really hilarious in a minute. But it's also sold 1 million copies, which is half of what Sonic Frontiers sold in 2 months?
Wow.
So I do not remember.
No, that sounds right. Yeah.
So it sold a lot, and in a quick space of time. I think having Movie 3 on the horizon has definitely helped that as well. But I think it also helps.
It's Movie 3. It's Movie 3, and it's a remaster of a beloved Sonic game. So and it's an exciting new game with it. So there's a lot going into it. There's a lot of selling points here. So
not to mention Shadow's name is on it. He's on the box art this time as well. And it's I think there's probably a lot of people that are will see Shadow on the box art and be more excited for this one than they would a Sonic game without Shadow in it.
Or just
I thought that was Sonic.exe.
Shut the fuck up, Frank.
Oh yeah. I did want to say as well. I got the game gifted to me on Steam, which I was very thankful for. But it wasn't the digital deluxe edition, so I had to wait till this morning, and I beat it this morning. Definitely not complaining, because it was a very great gift, and it was awesome. But if you do want to get all of the luxuries of the digital deluxe edition, they are sold separately as just DLC packs on Steam and whatever other format.
Is there any way of getting the adventure skin without it?
Yeah.
Really?
Sign up for the newsletter.
No, the newsletter is the Jam one.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. You can buy the adventure one, because I think they sell it for $1.50.
You can buy
the Jam one. I know that.
You can buy the Jam one on Steam. I haven't seen the adventure one.
You can buy Terios. You get Terios and the extra background music pack and skill points for Generations for $11.99.
That's a lot.
Yikes.
That's a little steep.
But where's the adventure skin?
That's a pre-order bonus.
I don't see it.
I didn't know there would be a way to
the adventure skin.
I will give it maybe about a month or two before they release it for other people to buy, because sometimes they will do that.
Maybe we'll get Sonic X Shadow Generations Plus.
It was the same with
Jesus Christ, though. You know what?
It was the same with the soap shoes too, where it's after a while they just put it on the DLC, even though that was a strictly news oriented newsletter.
I mean, you can get the Jam skin for 99p. So that's a
that one's cheap.
If you're in the US, it's $1.50 you can get it. But honestly, for the Sonic Jam one, but just go sign up for the newsletter. You got a week.
I will say,
and I believe codes are starting to have been going out for the Switch version. They went out for the PlayStation 5 version. They might be going out for Xbox and PC soon. So just keep an eye on your emails.
I will say, I guess we can mention kind of DLC implementation for the Sonic Generation side of things, given that we're kind of on the subject of skins. I love the way the skins look. I played through the entire game as Jam Sonic and Adventure Sonic. I'm gonna say this. I am incredibly disappointed, though, by kind of how they only factor into level. Not even level introductions get the skins. Like, for example, if you're doing the perfect chaos fight, when Sonic jumps into the arena, it's the modern Sonic model. You don't even get, like, like the finishing blow against Metal Sonic. It's still the Generations classic Sonic model. Like, I could understand maybe not the cutscenes, but not even level intros? That was really unfortunate. And I...
You and me both, man. I was disappointed by that, too.
Yeah, and I think you'll kind of get a theme here in that, like, I think the Generations remaster is good, but it is full of, once again, like the original Generations, full of missed opportunities. And I guess preservation was the aim of the game this time, so I don't really mind. But, yeah, like, the skin implementation was disappointing. Also, no Supersonic skins either. If you go Supersonic while you got the skins, it will be the base Supersonic. And not only that, Supersonic wasn't fixed. They didn't fix the issues with modern and classic Supersonic. So that's disappointing.
So something that I found out as I was playing Sonic Generations, especially when I was streaming it, yeah, a lot of the issues that I had with Generations are still in this remaster, but so are some of the glitches that are like fun to do, like moving around in 3D in 2D sections. You could still do that. Like, I'm pretty sure you could realistically speedrun the game if you are a speedrunner and play off of this new version of the game. So,
there's
muscle
one
memory
glitch-
takes over. Going ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I was just gonna say there's one glitch that I did love. That has been patched out. Well, not patched out, but gotten rid of. And that's in the collection room, the chair. If you stomped on it in the previous one, it would slide you across the entire map. But in the new version, it doesn't do that.
Aw, come on.
Yeah, no.
Come on, Sega. Be fun about that. That's funny.
Yeah, it was silly. It didn't even matter, you know, like. In terms of
So what?
Go on.
What I'll say is this. Aside from the rewrites for like dialogue, this game is just a slight graphical improvement over the original.
So
gameplay feels just the same, but with a new control scheme.
And the new control scheme,
optional one.
I've got stuff to say about that as well. But like, yeah, in terms of the visual improvements, I did notice a few things, like a couple of sunshine rays and sky sanctuary. There's a cutscene after the Death Egg
caught
robot,
up to
where they've kind of, you know, improved that up a bit and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I caught your stream when you were going through Sky Sanctuary. I actually was watching it yesterday and was like, oh, shoot, I didn't even notice that when I was playing.
I don't know.
And
if
I've played both the
placebo
remaster and the original.
No, it's new. That wasn't in there in the original, because in the original,
they
don't show you what Robotnik looks like until the end of the game.
Oh no, I'm not talking about that though. I'm talking about Sky Sanctuary's light rays.
Oh, like the God Rays? Yeah, no, that's new.
Okay, so it definitely is. Okay, great. And yeah, there's just other little bits and pieces like that. I've actually really enjoyed the Chow hunting. That has given me a new incentive to kind of explore these levels beyond just the red star rings, but I like them better than the red star rings because they're little guys, you know?
Yeah, and you can have them in around the level when you go into like your level select thing.
Yeah, and also
like
if you go
hang out with you know, like if you play it again.
You're also given clues as to how to, you know, find them and stuff, but they're not obvious, but they're clues kind of akin to like the Knuckles radar clues in a way. And the only thing I will say is I wish when you go to the collection room you could see them in like 3D and turn them around and stuff. That would have been a nice touch, but just a picture will do fine, fair enough. And being able to display them around the white world, I think that's a good thing. Like, because the original white world, a lot of the thing there was, as you collect red star rings, as you do the challenge gates, it decorates it a little. It brings color back to it. So adding Chow around it to decorate it more does feel like you are making a positive impact on that world. So I really like that. I thought that was a nice touch.
Yeah.
Also, lives were gone. Sort of.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can turn on challenge tries in the options menu, but I think that only works as a live system during the challenges.
Nope.
Right?
Why did they call them that then? Why didn't they just call them lives?
Oh, whole game. Okay.
Yep.
Huh.
I was testing that out earlier today.
Nice. Okay.
Also, I will say, if you don't like the new control scheme, you can go back to a legacy control scheme, and it controls exactly how you remember it. Like I was playing.
Yeah.
I did want to talk
the
about
generation.
I
Oh, you
think
did?
I think you can do it for Shadow as well, so you can have the
You can,
latest
yeah.
controls generations for Shadow too.
Well,
That's what I did
you know what?
for both. Yeah.
I think
You know what? Let's give Pup the floor.
don't I always have the floor? If you guys want to speak, just speak. I'm just very antsy.
Oh no, you're fine. No. Yeah. What
I
do you,
mean,
what do you
like
want to
I
say
can tell
about
this is something you want to talk about, so
Because the
I'm okay with
controls
it.
are like the controls have bugged me a little bit because I can't get them how I want them in Generations 8. In Sonic Generation. That's getting
Or voice
confusing.
your complaints, voice your problems.
What's
So-
what's the biggest problem for you?
What I hoped would have happened would have been that okay, I'm gonna be talking in PlayStation terms, okay? So you guys know the
Okay.
PlayStation controller mapping?
Yeah, I'm using the controls for PlayStation.
Okay.
I'm playing mouse and keyboard.
I'll use PlayStation.
I'm playing Kinect actually, so
I use tilt controls.
How does that work with my DS?
I've been using gyro. I don't know
I had
what you're
hoped
talking
that it would be
That is
jump.
tilt controls.
I'd hope that it would be jump would be on the X button, and then home attack would be on the square button, and then boost is on like R2, and then maybe you can remap boost and spin dash separately. But unfortunately, it's more just that there's 2 jump buttons now, which has ended up being more trouble than it's worth because there have been times when muscle memory's kicked in, and I've ended up drop dashing off of the edge of a ledge, which also doesn't make any sense to me because like the drop dash only works after an air dash.
The edge of a ledge.
Yeah.
Would it not make 1,000 times more sense to put the air dash and home attack on the square button, freeing up the A button for the drop dash? I just think that would make so much more sense. But then also
It makes perfect sense.
the fact that spin dash and boost share a bind makes me upset as well because I do want to have the boost on the R2 button. That feels good. That feels good to me. It's like an accelerator.
Yeah.
The spin dash, on the other hand, you'll want that nice clickiness to the button, but a trigger button is designed to be squeezed. Squeezing on the spin, it means that when I'm revving it up, sometimes it doesn't quite process the input as I want it to. I feel like you need that snappiness to the spin dash, which unfortunately you can't do as easy. I find if you slap the button, it's easier, but like,
It feels unnatural compared to just a button.
Yeah, the control thing disappointed me a bit because I don't think this is the best way of doing it, and I also wish there were separate binds for the boost and
the 2 Sonics.
Yeah.
You know what's also very strange about the new controls for Classic specifically? For whatever reason, like his moveset is changed. You do have the drop dash now, but you can't use the drop dash in certain places or boss fights.
Yes,
I know the reason for that. The drop dash is a skill.
Yeah, but even if you have
it's a skill that you can equip and unequip.
But you can't unequip it. I've unequipped it, and you still have it.
Yes, you can.
No,
you can.
You can unequip it, but you still have it.
Oh, wait, are you saying because it's a skill they don't work in certain things, like challenges and boss fights?
So
is that how that works?
I'm finding this out.
No, Frank, because I've got Supersonic enabled. With Supersonic enabled, that takes up all of your skill points, so I had to get rid of drop dash, and I got rid of drop dash. I can still drop dash. I think maybe they considered making it a skill, and then later down the line decided to make it base part of the move. But it's that you can still.
I'm gonna find this out for myself. I have to see this in person. That is ridiculous.
Also, the PC version, I couldn't use the D-pad for Classic Sonic, which was
that's an issue with PC games. With Forces had that same issue where on console you can use the D-pad to control Classic Sonic,
I see,
or you can control Sonic in 2D. But with the PC version, you don't get that, which I don't understand why. It makes sense. Controlling with the analog stick is disgusting in 2D.
I also so the drop dash. I think that this is going to be a controversial opinion, but hear me out. Modern Sonic did it better.
Not that I was going to have controversial.
That is controversial.
Oh my god!
I don't know.
I'll explain why.
Okay.
So, modern Sonic, obviously, doing it after an air dash kills all the momentum entirely, and that kind of stinks. I think they could have made it more meaningful if, in like the online options, they had a rank mode for 0 boost and made it so that you had to drop dash your way through it, and that would make that move have some meaning. So I will say it is meaningless, but the classic drop dash is a bit more broken than the modern one. The modern one, you can change direction mid-air quite consistently. The classic one, sometimes he will just face whatever fucking direction he wants. And I've also found that, you know how you charge... So when you jump, you charge it up by holding the button down, and then when you let go, it cancels the charge?
Yeah.
That only happens unless you bop on an enemy. If you bop on an enemy, it charges again for some reason. Automatically. You can't cancel the drop dash after bopping an enemy.
That's kind of a funny exploit.
So I unequipped the drop dash, and I can no longer use it in Green Hill Zone Act 1.
Maybe it's tied to Supersonic then. I don't know.
It could be. I'm going to find that out right now.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah, I'll do that right now.
Which the skill I named Super Revenge because I just fucking picked random. But
I wish you could just name them with words. I wish I could just type a name for my skill sets.
You can customize. You can change the name of it.
I know, but you can't write your own name. You got to pick 2 words, like you're using like a Toontown name generator.
Before we get to the story,
oh, that's so stupid.
Before we get to the story, I do just want to say, like, these new features don't ruin the game in the slightest or negatively impact the game in the slightest. I would still say this is probably the version to play. But, like, I don't think everything's been implemented perfectly. There's one more thing before we get to, like, story beats, though.
Oh my god. It is there.
Are we talking about story?
I mean, for Sonic Generations, talk just a little bit about the overall vibe of it, basically. But, yeah, for Sonic Generations, there's one thing I wish they'd done. And that's, even if it doesn't bear any weight on the plot, even if it doesn't affect the cutscenes at all, I would have liked it if when you switched to Classic Sonic in the White World, they swapped Knuckles and Amy out with their classic models from Superstar.
Oh, that would have been cute.
Yeah, that could have been a neat little touch, yeah.
I never understood why they didn't do that in the first place. I know that they didn't have models for them back then, but I always thought that was a huge missed opportunity. And now that we're going the second road around again, and it's still not there, I can't help but feel that's, again, a bit of a missed opportunity. But again, I do understand that the aim of the game with this one was just a slightly enhanced version of the original game. They didn't want to interfere with the original vision. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Pup. Yeah, you're right. It is tied to Supersonic.
That'll do it. Okay, so it is still a skill then.
That is weird.
No, they put it on Supersonic because that way you can still do it. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to have it.
I guess so. Also, I wanted to say this. I wanted to say this in terms of because it's kind of related to story, but it's more so just like a character bio thing. For Classic Sonic in the American version, it is said that he is from another dimension, and apparently that was a mistake. So they are going to fix that.
Has come out and said that will get fixed.
I think the head of the lore team, I think Chris.
Oh, it was a mistake. Nice.
It was a mistake. Nice. Yeah. So I mean, either way, I wouldn't have cared, like, to be honest. But I saw it on Twitter, and I thought that would be like at least like enough to mention, you know. Other than that, I haven't played through the Sonic Generations side of this remaster all the way through, so I can't really say much in terms of like the story on that.
Where would you boys, for those that have kind of played both stories, I guess, where would you recommend that new players start? Would you recommend that they start on Sonic or Shadow?
If they're brand new, definitely Sonic.
Sonic, if you've never played it before, I would say play Sonic Generations.
Yeah. First. And keep the control schemes of both modes the same. That way your hands aren't doing... because that's what I did for both. Yeah, well, that's what I did for both, is that I just did the legacy control scheme for both. And, like, there were some times where probably, like, some of the level design and Shadows portion probably wasn't catered towards the legacy control scheme all that much. Like, some shortcuts I couldn't get to as easily. But it still worked out great, and it felt great. So, I have no complaints.
I've been using the new control scheme in Sonic Generations, and I could see in some areas where that would be incredibly helpful. Like, I was... playing Green Hill Zone Act 2, and there was a point where it's like I can boost and slide without having to like move my thumb from one button to another. It's like, okay, that works.
Yeah.
The only thing that does suck is that if I want to do, say, like, if I want to do like the quick step in a different level or something, I'd have to shift so that way my middle finger is holding down the boost button, and I'm using, you know, my index fingers for both hands for like the left and right bumpers.
You have to like claw it. Yeah, you have to claw your
that's the thing, is like,
whatever.
Frontiers obviously was the one to usher in, you know, trigger boosting, and Shadow Generations does that too. But those games rarely ask you to ever quick step.
Yeah. Well, actually, like in the Shadow Generations portion, you do quick step or at least like slide attack and whatnot, which is practically the same thing.
Well, yeah,
you know,
there's never like a mandatory quick step section.
True. Yeah.
And
it is like encouraged.
If you do use the quick step as just the base quick step, he doesn't step very far. Like it's just a quick step.
That is true.
I had to do it like twice because I was going down one level where it looked like I needed to.
Is like Frontiers doesn't have a tuned quick step either. Like the only time the quick step ever like coordinates is in a section where it's like a scripted auto run where the quick step is kind of bound to it. But like
like Squid.
Yeah. But like I think since Generations, not since Generations, since Forces, quick step has definitely been there. I don't understand why these characters still have the slide either. Like you never once used the slide in Sonic Frontiers, and you never use it in Shadow Generations. Just put a fucking spin dash on that button, man. Like
there was a couple of times, you know, and I know we're kind of jumping around, but like I guess to get this off my chest, like there was a couple of times in Shadow Generations where there was like a level geometry thing where it looked like I could slide under it, and then it turns out that I couldn't. You know what I'm talking about? It's like a
because
grate
I tried
or
it
something.
too. Yeah. It's on a building, isn't it, in the hub world?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes.
I thought that.
And I'm just like, what the? I was like, I should be able to slide, and then I realized that you don't use the slide at all in Shadow Generations.
I don't know why they still have
that
that move, man. Like, just they got rid of the drift, but didn't get rid of the slide. Just get rid of it. Just put a roll on that button or something.
I think roll and also spin dash would have been great for modern Sonic for Generations instead of the drop dash. I feel like drop dash was kind of unnecessary.
I think a roll would have been much better.
Modern Sonic does still use his roll. In fairness, in like the Sonic Generations portion, I'm mainly referring to Shadow Generations and Frontiers. But yeah, like modern. Yeah, one thing I did notice is that if you drop dash and you go to a point where you'd need to slide, he automatically slides, but he will do the slowest version of it. However, it is quite easy. It is quite easy to just slide anyway from a drop dash. I don't know. I've had fun with the drop dash tech, even though it is pretty much useless for getting good times. Like, I've had fun with it. And I think, you know, a zero boost mode would absolutely justify it. Like,
I think it would have been cool to see if because I think we talked about this before we went on air, but the 30-second trials and the Sonic Generations portion is no longer there, which is very saddening because I loved it. But I felt like in its place should have been like these fun little challenge online things like no boost or, you know, I'm trying to think of other things. But
without defeating a badnik.
No rings around or, you know, something.
That. You can't have that anywhere else.
Why would you do that?
That's true. Sega, if you add that into a game, I'm coming for you.
He'd be out of a job, goddammit. Like,
but like, I don't know.
They'll know the answer.
I do wish they would have kept the 30-second trials.
You'll be having plenty of 30-second trials now that you got a girlfriend, Trey.
Oh, shut up! At least give me some credit. 40 seconds at the very least, for the love of God.
The cornerstone.
Dude, usually I'm like a big like leave significant others out of the jokes, but that was really fucking funny.
That was funny.
The cornerstone of British humor is ha ha ha. You are bad at sex.
True.
I know that Trey's excellent at it. He's wonderful.
No badniks without touching a ring. That is a masochist.
Oh, you're very attentive, very tender.
I'm gonna.
You match my freak very nicely because I also.
Match my freak is insane.
Enough.
Anyways,
this is the Sonic podcast for the classic and modern age, not for the whatever you're talking about.
And the freaky ones.
Not the freaky age.
For the sex age. Sex generations.
Not the gooning and freaking age.
Oh god,
you've heard
You're
of
getting roasted.
Now get ready for Sonic Sex Shadow Generations. Anyway, I guess do we want to talk about anything else Sonic Generations wise before we get to kind of just the general writing vibe that we've got now?
What was it? Sorry.
Yeah.
Is there any other things that we want to talk about Sonic Generations wise before talking about the general vibe of the Sonic Generations script now?
No, I want to talk about the script really bad. I really, really want to talk about it.
Oh, okay. Well, you lead the way.
Oh god. Okay, so I think the only reason I'm so invested in this rewrite is because I've tried to do a Generations retelling in the past, and it's something I'm going to try and finish later to try and because I cancel too many of my own projects, so I want to at least finish that because people seem to like it. But the reason I'm so interested in it is because they redid all the cutscenes. They've like re-rendered them so they're not like 240p anymore or whatever. And along with that, they've had Ian Flynn rewrite the script, but it's not really a different story. It's the exact same story. It's just things are said differently, and there are new references included. And again, many people were very angry, saying things like, "Oh, he's going to ruin the story of Sonic Generations," of which there really is not a story. Let's be honest. Yeah. It's like we are here, and now we are in Green Hill Zone. Save friend. And, like, Sonic didn't even talk. So, like, now when you save your friends, modern Sonic will talk to them. The very quick snippet of dialogue, which is a nice little touch. And the friends say things slightly differently most of the time. And one thing I wanted to mention is that if you thought it was annoying in Frontiers when they were like, you remember Station Square and Perfect Chaos and White Jungle and Tropical, like all that shit? Yeah. They do that again in this game, but only for like the first bit of the game, like the very initial part. There's the first two zones have a lot of like lore drop, like buzzwords. And there's something in the very start, after you beat the first boss fight, Modern Sonic says something. And I don't have a problem with references. I don't have a problem with establishing the canon. But the way he says it and just shoving this line in to this point made me laugh so hard when I first heard it that I got a stomach cramp. Because after you beat the Death Egg robot, and Tails and young Tails are talking about how they're traveling through time and space. Yeah. Modern Sonic scratches his head, and then he goes, he goes time and space. Modern Sonic scratches his head, and he goes, without using the time stones? And that was the only time where I actually thought it was stupid. Because, it was such a fucking forced reference.
I will go to that and say I was okay with it. I couldn't
help but laugh.
No. Here's the thing. Funny. It took all the way till, I was watching somebody's video on this, and they pointed this one thing out that I didn't even think about when I was playing through Generations. You don't time travel with the time stones.
To be fair, you could probably say that the time stones power. You could say the time stones power.
You use the signposts.
I don't think it's necessarily the. I don't know. I don't think it's necessarily the semantics on what their case use is. I think it's just the case of no one really talks like this. If that makes sense, it's like a thing where
I suppose. Yeah, it's like a thing where it's like if you've only time traveled once and the time stones were involved, you might be a bit confused as to why you're time traveling without it.
I mean, yeah, but
explain Silver.
But we have,
that's true. That's a good point. Silver, I think next time we see him, he's probably going to mention the time stones. I feel like he's going to be using time stones to time travel.
Yeah, wow, Silver, you got here with the time stones.
Because I know some folks mentioned 06, but obviously they don't remember that. So technically, Sonic has only done it once. Maybe Sonic assumed Silver was using time stones, but never mentioned it. I don't know. I will say this though, because I know in Run Up people are like, oh god, Ian's going to add a load of references to this, and really. Outside of Frontiers, which served to re-establish canon, let's face it, and the odd panel that gets clowned on from the first couple of issues of IDW, Ian Flynn's writing doesn't really do that, but God for fucking bid, a game where Sonic goes to the past references the past.
I'd like to be clear. I don't have a problem with the references. I think it's fine to reestablish canon. It was that specific line I just found very funny.
No, that's fair.
I think it's also it's also a case where a lot of the animations weren't really changed all that much, aside from some movement flaps of the lips flapping and whatnot in some cutscenes.
There are times when you can definitely tell that they haven't been that they've had to work around the time frame of the original cutscene in order to do it. Especially in the ending cutscene when Sonic's like, so, Class Sonic, it was really nice hanging out with you. I hope you learned a few new things that you can take into your career going forward. Anyway, nice to see you. Bye-bye.
Best of luck in your future endeavors.
It's like when you're trying to get rid of your relatives. The relatives have been at the house too long, and you're like, hi,
Classic Sonic has overstayed his welcome.
It felt like Sonic briefly
go, you're going to be late.
It felt like Sonic briefly turned into Boom Sonic at that point. He's got like a date at Meburger or something he has to get to. But there's a minor continuity error in there as well. And I don't think this is spoiling anything, but obviously in the Time Eater cutscene, there's that bit where Tails like, Eggman, I knew you were behind this, and then Little Tails is like, Dr. Robotnik, because they don't come up with that nickname until Sonic Adventure. But there's a point where Classic Tails says, after you defeat the Egg Dragoon, that looks like the thing that took your Eggman. And it's like, oh, so you do.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh.
he's always been Eggman in Japan, though.
I know, but this isn't.
Yeah,
but this isn't
like,
the Japanese
for the,
version. So
I know,
for the
they probably
English
just
script,
didn't
it doesn't.
change the script.
It's
well,
honestly, if he just said like that took your doctor and then just didn't say Eggman, I think that would have worked.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, I say it's minor because you could like. When it comes to movies, I generally say if it's a plot hole you can't fill with evidence from the movie, then it's still a plot hole. But, like, at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world, obviously. But also, in this case, I could believe that maybe the modern and classic Tales at some point during gameplay might have mentioned Eggman. And they've just kind of, they've learned that, but they haven't necessarily picked it up, so their instinct is still to say Robotnik, basically.
Like, your suspension of disbelief is,
On a whole, though, I'm going to say this. I much prefer this rewrite to the original version, despite a couple of clunky bits. Because in the original version, when they go to these levels, they're just places from the past. Green Hill doesn't matter where it's from, what it meant to Sonic, it's a place from the past. Chemical Plant, it's a place from the past. I don't even know if I remember it, really. Oh, it's a place from the past. In this...
Yeah, now they're places.
In this we know what these places actually mean.
Now they're lived in,
And
fair enough.
It goes a long way to making the Sonic world feel lived in, even down to like the line about the time stone. Silly as it is, it at least acknowledges that this is a thing that Sonic is aware of. This is something that he's used to time travel before. So he's a little confused by the fact he's doing it without it. It is a bit clunky. I'm not going to pretend it's not.
Yeah.
And some of the re-recorded dialogue also, like, let's say some of the lines that weren't changed, okay? Some of the re-recorded versions of lines that weren't changed just do not hit the same as they used to. Like, I feel like they didn't have as good direction this time.
The post-credits with the two Robotniks, where in the original it's like, didn't you say you saw a door over here? What? I thought you were the one who said there was a door. And in this one it's like, didn't you say there was a door over here? What? I thought you said there was a door over. Mike Pollock phoned it in this time.
And I don't know if maybe that was on purpose. Like, it was weird because it makes some of the lines sound worse.
Mike Pollock absolutely fucking phoned it in on this one. Like
some of the new voices for go for it. I'd rather you finish this thought.
I was just gonna say, I think Roger was still fine. That's the dementia setting in. Roger was still fine.
Jesus.
I have to say, no disrespect to Kate Higgins, I much prefer Colleen O'Shaughnessy's take on classic Tales. A lot less babyish now.
Yeah.
Sounds a bit more like a younger Tales rather than a, I'm from Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
Baby Tales.
Doubles of us, places from our past. We're traveling through time and space. I'm a fucking genius, by the way.
I do like that they synced that up a little better this time.
Yeah, it's weird because it's kind of like it's like some of the cutscenes I'm like, okay, like I like the interactions a little bit better, but then there's just some where I'm just like, you could have just kept it the exact same.
This is no different.
And like, there was really no need to do this work. Yeah.
There were times where I would be playing it and then I'll hear like a new voice or a new delivery. I'm like, whoa, what is that?
That was the Silver fight was so jarring for me as well. Hearing the new Silver voice.
I
haven't actually heard that. I didn't get that far.
No, I haven't heard that yet. I'm actually.
He sounds bizarre.
No, it's not Quinlan, right? It's the other guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one that's.
I believe they say he's from TSR.
Yeah.
From TSR, that guy. Okay.
Yeah.
No, you're supposed to say in your dreams, Sonic.
There's
again, not a fan.
The thing that makes me kind of question this a little bit is just like they went. Okay, so they didn't fix the Supersonic, they didn't fix Time Eater or anything like that, and it makes me wonder why they left those things alone but went to the trouble of redoing the story in that case. Because It's a little. It's very Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. Like, is how I would describe the Sonic Generation story. More so than Sonic Prime. It is as Mickey Mouse Clubhouse as a Sonic story gets. But it was
also Sonic Legends in chat was also bringing up Charmy's voice. That's another really jarring one to hear.
Oh, I didn't even.
Oh, wow.
Charmy's always sounded bad to me, so I didn't notice.
Yeah.
He sounds worse.
He sounds worse.
That's surprising.
This is okay. But first off, this is my opinion. Okay, so if you like, for anybody who's listening, if you do disagree with it, that's totally fine. I just, I don't like some of the new voices in this remaster. It just either sounds really out of place or sounds really jarring. So
also, no use whinging to me in the Sunset City messages either. We stand by our hosts. But like,
well.
But
if you do have a problem with it, you can send the messages to me and I'll put them right in the.
You can give us super chats
I'll
and
stick
then we'll
them up
read
my
them out
ass.
loud. Yeah.
Hey yo, what?
Another moment though where the rewrite kind of negatively impacted things was definitely when you rescue Knuckles as classic Sonic. That needed to be checked over.
Wait,
that made no fucking sense whatsoever.
Because in the original, obviously
he didn't change the animation.
In the original, he's like, Sonic, have you gained weight? And Sonic looks all sad and he rubs his tummy. And in this one, he's like, what happened to the rest of Angel Island? And then he rubs his tummy and looks sad. What does that mean?
Classic Sonic
he's remembering
Angel
back
Island.
his mother
Of
would
course, he got hungry.
rub his belly when he was a child, and it made him feel better. And he's really upset for Knuckles.
I just like the idea that Knuckles impregnated him, and he's just like, oh, my life's a mess. I gotta squeeze this out.
Okay, I don't know where you keep getting these leaps in logic, Pup, but like for me, it seemed to be more. It seemed to imply that classic Sonic just ate Angel Island.
No, he has to give birth to classic Knuckles. Don't you know Knuckles is Sonic's son?
Oh God!
You need to get off the internet.
I'm genuinely surprised that they didn't go. Now, who do I get to punch or something like that? Because he's always about fisting.
It would have been so fucking funny to me if Knuckles just like bully punched classic Sonic in the gut. And he's like, thanks, Goober. Just bully punches him in the gut, and he just drops his rings, and then Knuckles just chuckles to himself.
For me, like, okay, so like, I can understand wanting a rewrite to tie the two halves of this game together. You know what I mean? But like, I'm also thinking of it in like in the context of like, we're looking at these characters as they were in 2011. I don't think it makes a lot of sense to change their characterization because this game takes place like over a decade ago, if that makes sense.
True, but when you're pairing it with Shadow Generations, you want the writing style to feel a little.
Tie it in, yeah. Well,
those characters weren't in Shadow Gens anyway.
To be, I still don't think they needed to go to that trouble because here's the way I saw it. Right, is like. Sonic Generations, a big missed opportunity with it was that it's like we're going back to the era of Sonic Adventure in Speed Highway. We never see Tikal the Echidna or anything in the story. We go to the era of Sonic Unleashed. We never see Chip in the story. We go to, all these different eras, but we never get to interact with that actual place. And I was just like, okay, well, they haven't fixed that with Sonic Generations, but they've done the Shadow campaign, which is kind of all about that, all about seeing an old face, effectively. So it's kind of like, I feel like, they've left Sonic Generations alone as is because it is already a good game, even if it's not perfect. But the Shadow Generations portion can capitalize on that missed potential.
Oh, no.
Rank.
I forgot we had that. So it does kind of bring into question of like the whole preservation thing, like trying to experience the game in its original form, but you've made all of these changes to it, so it's not exactly its original game.
You can still play
the story's a big nothing burger. Who cares?
You're a burger.
It just feels really weird that they've gone through all of these changes rather than just, improving the gameplay as well, which, I mean, it plays like Generations, flaws and all. Why? I mean, like, remaster. A lot of remasters tend to just control like the original, but with like visual upgrades. This one, I mean, if you're going through the changes with the story, adding the drop dash, why not improve a little more?
Yeah, I can't help but think.
Oh yeah.
Okay, sorry. Oh yeah, but anyways, regardless. And I also want to make this very clear that like if this is your first experience with Sonic Generations, you're not gonna have the same qualms that we do, in my opinion. I really can't imagine anyone going into this as their first experience with Sonic Generations being put off by the new writing or anything
stuff
like that. But it's stuff where it's just like if you've played the game for over a decade, like pretty much all of us here have, then it's like you kind of start scratching your head and it's like, well, why even make these changes? In my opinion,
they're really minimal.
In my opinion, it's like all we really needed to tie the two halves together was what was the reason Shadow was fighting Sonic again, which we did get that, and Shadow possibly changing his line whenever he came into the final fight.
Which is much better now. I think
yes, it is.
All of their motivational lines are much better this time because they say a bit more about the character rather than just like, "Go on, Sonic, good for you, buddy."
Yeah,
and that's. Do you guys see the video where it's like
make
the Sonic Generations rewrite by Ian Flynn, but it's like the one that they made before the game came out. It's just like all of the characters do references. That shit was really funny. Like, I'm dreaming of an absolution for you, Sonic.
Oh, God. I am all of me for you, Sonic. Okay,
that's really funny. I can't.
Very quickly, also,
Sonic.
I mean, I will say this. Because you did mention, like, why not do other things? And it does bring the question of why not go a bit further with it. I think the answer is simply Shadow Generations. Their time was occupied with that, and I would much rather they put all their time into that than...
Oh, it's fair.
But I will say this. If you ask me what my problem with the original Sonic Generations was, I'm not going to say graphics, and I'm not going to say gameplay. I'm going to say the story.
Planet
West. I think it's good that they actually... I mean, it's story and the fact that it ends on a fucking wet fart. Like, as soon as you get past Rooftop Run, it's like, the absolute best of the game is over now. Like...
Yeah, the final boss sucks.
The game just fizzles out. It always has. But speaking of kind of like rewrite stuff, if it's okay with you guys for me to kind of move this to the next bit.
Sure.
Yeah.
There are two things that are causing online discourse. One of them much stupider than the other. Both of them woman.
Oh, God.
So, where do you want to start? Do you want to start?
Oh, wait, hang on.
Rephrase what he just said. He's not. That is not what it sounded like.
No, that's exactly what it sounded like.
The discourse is stupid. The discourse itself is stupid. Nothing else.
That's exactly what it sounds like. These opinions are all of... Okay, before we do get into that, the reason that we're kind of like talking about the stuff before we get into this, buffoonery, is because I would like crazy. I would compare it to like how people who've played Sonic 1 for a very long time who go through the special stages and everything, and then they play the 2013 remake. It's not a remaster, it's a remake because it's built from the ground up, and they go through the special stages and it plays different. It's like, oh, that's different, that's different, that's different. Again, like Trey was saying, we've been playing this for 10 plus years. We can spot differences because we're so used to the original. So that's why we talk about it.
Yeah.
I mean, put it this way.
All right, let's get on to the stupid.
Before that, I just want to say, I would describe the new version of Sonic Generations as a very slight, if flimsy, improvement upon the original. The fact that it's not worse than the original makes this the best remaster that Sega have ever put out for a Sonic game anyway. So good job.
Kudos to you, Sega.
Let's talk about
let's get on to the stupid.
Yeah, let's talk about the two stupids. Okay, so first things first. Do you want to talk about the pink hedgehog in the room or the bat in the room?
I think the bat in the room will be a less annoying conversation.
It's quicker. Fair.
I was going to say, let's get the worst out of the way first.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are under the impression that Ian Flynn has an anti-Son Amy agenda or an anti-affection agenda towards Amy. In terms of, like, in the recent years, we've seen that they've kind of toned down her affections for Sonic compared to kind of what she was in the 2000s. I am in the camp of people that believes that they didn't need to change Amy because I always thought she was a good character. And that, like... I don't know, like... I don't think she's a bad example of a girl character by any stretch, even in, like, the 2000s in Sonic X and stuff. As long as she's a feisty person who wears her emotions on her sleeve and can be independent, then you've got Amy Rose, basically. Yeah. And a lot of people have been saying they've taken a lot of that away from her, or that if you take her affections away, or if you take her affections for Sonic away from Amy Rose, she's no longer Amy Rose. The thing is, that mentality validates the critics of Amy from back in the day, saying this character centers entirely around a male character. If you take Amy's affections for Sonic away from her, and that completely destroys the character, then that means the critics were correct about that. I don't think they were. So here's the thing, though. They haven't taken her affections for Sonic away. They've just kind of reinterpreted them. Like, the big egregious thing everyone's talking about is in the original Sonic Generations opening cutscene, she kind of just goes towards Sonic and he just pushes her face away while he gets excited about a chili dog that Tails is going to give him.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of a better analogy for a guy being into sausage than that. But in the new version, Sonic isn't doing that. He ain't doing that now.
Yeah, she's like holding cupcakes or something.
Yeah, but people are saying, oh, they've taken her affections away. She's holding color-coordinated cupcakes, one blue, one pink, while gazing adoringly at him while he talks to Tails.
She has like the most like lovey-dovey expression in her face I've ever seen someone have.
Exactly. The only difference here is that rather than being played off as a slapstick cartoon character thing, they're being treated with a little degree of dignity instead. And I think that's better.
That's fair.
Same goes for the big Knuckles gag as well. Like, I guess we could quickly... it's not a plot spoiler, but like in the original game, she pushes Knuckles into a fucking tree. He tumbles there and he gets knocked out. Mm-hmm. In the new one, she pushes him and he just falls back a little bit and is like, okay. And people have said they've toned Amy down. It's like, did she not still push him though? She did the exact same thing.
I think what they've toned down is how extreme it was. Like how... she was like trying to like hug or hold Sonic in that one cutscene, and then later on, rather than just like a little nudge, she just like force palms him to like a tree. Which honestly, I think she should have just taken over the adventure. She could just body Time Eater, but that's besides the point. Honestly, I think it's more of. I don't think it's them taking stuff away from Amy. I think it's more of like Amy's character maturing a bit.
I don't even think it's just that.
To be closer to the more modern stuff.
If we are treating the other characters with dignity now, I think Knuckles is being given the same treatment. So he's no longer this buffoon that tumbles into the tree and looks all silly. He's just...
No, he just punches everything.
I mean, he's more Knucklesy now, because Knuckles has always been kind of the guy to get pushed back a little bit and be like, oh, all right then.
Knucklesy enough for the Knuckles Club.
So I wanted to interject and say, like, I can agree with like treating these characters with more dignity, but like, in terms of them like maturing, I don't know if Sonic Generations is the best place for them to do that, because this takes place well before Frontiers, where
you do create a bit of a.
So it's a little bit of a conflict of interest, in my opinion. It's like, okay,
who's calling me right now? Someone is, and the stream can hear it.
That's pretty much why the whole like rewrite thing and new lines and new animations for like certain cutscenes. That's why it comes off as very weird, because you normally don't get that with a remaster or a remake or something, because they try to stay close enough to the original or to the source material. Yeah. And considering, yes, this game did release before Forces, before Frontiers, before actually those were the only games that came out afterwards.
Before
I think it's less about maturing the characters, more about just that's what the character is, effectively. Because, I mean, like, Frontiers made that whole point of, like, in the egg memos, Robotnik is like, oh, Amy Rose, she's come so far, she's a part of Team Sonic now. And then she's there in Superstars alongside them as a member of Team Sonic, effectively.
Right.
I think it's quite obvious that it's just, like, this is a recontextualization of Sonic and the Sonic universe, and it's just, like, that's just how these characters are now, you know?
Yeah.
And
I guess that's fair. No, it's not. And again, if this is your first time playing Generations, you're not going to have these same problems. I think for me, it's just that, if everything gets recontextualized into this new version of the characters, then it seems like the illusion of growth isn't necessarily there. The illusion of growth and character development isn't there, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That's my thing. It's not that serious, but
you could also call it
would almost feel like
dishonest, I guess.
Yeah, well, because it's just like you're trying to retell the story in the current viewpoint of how we view these characters, and that's just not what they were back then. You can disagree with how they were back then, but that doesn't mean they should be changed from how they were back then.
It doesn't mean that they were never that way to begin with.
Yeah, exactly.
I think though
they need that growth, so they need to be it makes sense for them to be shown in the way they were in 2011 as opposed to,
and then it makes Frontiers
through.
Yeah.
To be fair, though, there's still quite a difference between how these characters act in this game compared to how they act in Frontiers.
Oh,
or even
fair.
Dream Team.
Yeah.
And people
Absolutely.
also talk about, like, the Amy romance erasure thing. There's a line literally written by Ian Flynn, because people have really argued semantics over what is and isn't written by Flynn. And it's like, what the fuck does it matter? If it's in the game, it's in the game, so it shows that that's not the agenda. But a line legitimately written by Flynn, when classic Sonic rescues Amy, she's like, I always thought you were cute, but did you get cuter? And it's like,
Yes.
there you fucking
Well, that
go.
sounds like flirting to me.
Yeah, it could
Also,
be made
I
more
want to
obvious.
mention something about this.
I mean-
the thing about people thinking it's all Ian Flynn again. I think we've mentioned this on previous episodes of the podcast too, but like Ian Flynn does not get, he doesn't like go in and say, hey Sega, I wrote this, tough shit. Like he writes something and then Sega and Sonic Team have to sign off on it or tell him what to do. So like,
So
it's
that
more
might
so
be
that Sega and Sonic Team don't want to pursue this like heavy romance angle anymore because they have just they're funny little animal characters and they want to keep it like that.
And
That's what it comes down to.
And anytime I criticize writing or story, I'm taking into account all the factors that go into remaking a game, remaking a story. It's not just one writer or even like a group of writers. It's like you got the executives, the big wigs smoking cigs and all that stuff, right?
So it's Flynn is the only writer now.
And that's
like,
the thing is,
like he's got to answer to a team of people. It's not just
Sonic fans are so quick to dunk on Ian Flynn or Evan Stanley or Ken Pontac and Warren Graff, and unfortunately, I was a part of that crowd back in the day. But it's
I'll apologize.
Way to go.
Apologies.
That went a little crazy far. With Pontac and Graff, it wasn't all their fault.
Apologies to Ken Pontac and Warren Graff. But it's like it's as I said on Twitter, Sonic fans are the kind of fucking Karens that would rather yell at the cashier than actually communicate their problems with the up top. And it happens so fucking often.
Sounds like a lot of fan bases.
But
a little bit.
On a whole, I thought this rewrite was good. I think there are conversations to be had about going back over someone else's work. I would be intrigued to hear what Ken Pontac and Warren Graff have to say about the fact that their work was basically rewritten. I think it was handled quite respectfully. Ian Flynn kept a lot of their wordplay and goofy jokes in there. But he just kind of had them acknowledge the world they're in a bit more, giving it more of an air of legitimacy to it. The other thing is, Sonic Generations was not a passion project for Pontac and Graff, because no Sonic thing they worked on was a passion project for them, as far as I understand.
No Sonic game was a passion project regardless back then.
No shame
I don't know if we have a source on this, so...
Well, no, but no shame at all. I'm not saying this as a derogatory thing, but they are writers for hire. Sega recruited them because they're cartoon writers.
Sure.
They quite openly said they don't have extensive knowledge of Sonic. They just worked with the character bibles that they were given, effectively.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I don't think
work is
Generations was ever a passion project for those guys. So I think in this case, if you're going to take something that was originally a right-of-hire project and then get someone who loves these characters to inject some much-needed enthusiasm and energy into it, I'm all for that. But I do still think it's a very case-by-case basis. And I would really be intrigued to hear Ken Pontac and Warren Graff's thoughts on that.
Yeah, that's kind of my thing.
Who knows? Maybe we'll get something like that in a couple of weeks.
Let's get him on the show. Let's invite him.
Hey,
I would
that'd be an interest. That would be very interesting.
I would actually. That would actually be kind
just
of.
come in with all of our questions.
I would just ask them about Mad World, but that's it.
I'd feel awkward though because there are previous Sunset City episodes where I haven't been very charitable towards them, and it's just like.
Well, also, they've never watched it and they never will, so I don't
exactly.
think
But it's still, I don't like the
here's the
idea
thing.
of being two-faced. If you get me, like.
Here's the thing: if they do bring that up, it's like, well, we have these other hosts, and they're a lot more charitable than I was at that time,
wrong.
and things are different.
And also, you just said you were wrong. Too. Like you just said, you were part of that camp, and it was not right. Like again, I'm gonna say, it's not like I was out there campaigning for them to be fired, but I was always like, I don't like their writing. I think they're doing a bad job. But like, it didn't really click with me until way later that they are not like the sole writers.
It's unfortunate
You know?
because
Right.
their names became
So, like, I
synonymous
definitely
with
was
that.
wrong.
Because there
Well,
is a
and
hard
it's also a
cutoff
lot.
between when they were
It's-
brought on and when they weren't, and the story's tones did change. And so it's quite
Right.
easy to attribute it to the new blood that's in, when in actuality, Sega had a brand new vision. They wanted to aim it more towards kids and families.
Yeah, they
and-
wanted to ruin the franchise.
Yeah,
They wanted
to
that
fucking
Saturday
destroy it,
morning
you know?
cartoon.
Well, it was an overcorrection, and we've already discussed that like ad nauseum
Extensively.
before. Yeah, like so, like I think it's a thing too, where it's just like it's easier to point the finger at someone that is like for all intents and purposes a celebrity writer, if that makes sense.
They
Like
have a
Ian
name,
Flynn,
you know?
like his name is posted loud and proud in the credits.
His name is
and
Ian.
his name is Ian.
Yeah, I'm pretty
His
sure
name is
that's
Ian.
his legal name.
And like
His name's actually Leslie.
but you know what I mean, where it's just like it's so much easier to point the finger at someone when you know their face, when you know that they are involved in some capacity. I can't really be bothered to look up the executives of Sega or Sonic Team or whatever, and try to like point the blame at them, and it wouldn't even be feasible anyways. Like because at that point you're just turning into an insane person trying to go after people, right? So like
Yeah, you're coming off as like a even creepier stalker.
yeah, exactly.
There are tons of
So-
people who work on video games.
And there's sometimes too, and it's disappointing, and it's the same with like music as well. But sometimes these things are just a job, right? It's just a job. They just have a quota to fill out, and that's it, you know. And some people may be more passionate about it than others, but it's hard. It's hard to feel like I can expect that through every project, or for every project to be a home run.
I've also
know,
said it
so-
like a million times, like until I'm blue in the face to like Flynn haters. If you want to see what Ian Flynn would actually like to do with Sonic if left to his own devices, Archie's the place to look, and
Yep.
it's really good. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like, in all honesty, like Dark Beginnings, that's phenomenal. Like it's a phenomenal like piece of work.
it's
So
fantastic.
like,
Yeah,
so it's been proven that even within the confines of the Sega like house and everything, that you know there's still a
The
lot.
House of Mouse.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, there's
there's
still
also-
a lot to say.
there's a reason why they brought him on as well. They know that he can do some good for these characters, for this franchise, and it's because he takes them
Sure.
seriously. He loves them. He treats them with reverence, and I think we've needed that. You know, we not only
Mhm.
have a writer for hire, we not only have someone who understands these characters, but someone who deeply
Mhm.
really loves them. You know, like, and
Yeah.
it makes me happy to
Yeah.
see. On the
It means
on
a
the
lot to
matter
me.
of Amy though, like, because we kind of got to get back to the two stupid woman problem. in
Oh,
this game.
right. Yeah. Fair enough.
I hate that you say it like that.
I'm
Please stop
deliberately,
saying it.
I'm deliberately wording it as
Damn,
badly as
Pop.
I can. I think what Ian Flynn's done with Amy is that she still absolutely loves Sonic, has a big old crush on him, is smitten with him, but what they've done is they've made it very apparent that she's happy. She's happy with him as a friend or whatever. She is.
Mhm.
She can still be happy even if Sonic isn't her boyfriend. So, like,
Yeah,
that's the thing is,
Guys and
Well, yeah, I mean, because in
You guys
Frontier,
know
she's
that.
still thinking about the Coco.
still thinking about the Coco. But with 2000s Amy, there's always this sense of like, oh man, one day reality is gonna hit her in the head, and it's really sad, you know? Like, she's gonna have a hard time confronting that. With Flynn era Amy, I feel like it's like, you know, she's still Amy, but she can be happy regardless, and I like that. That makes me happy because she deserves to be happy. Moving
Yeah.
on.
Moving on.
We've got
Oh god.
Rouge.
So, with YouTube, when looking up game reviews or movie reviews, it's a game of
Christ.
careful, Hitler could be around here anywhere these days, you know?
What?
Okay. I'm letting you
What?
cook.
Wait, hold on.
I'm letting you cook. I'm letting you cook. Continue.
Don't understand.
GriftTube has found themselves very attracted to
Oh,
Sonic.
okay.
Yeah.
What does
And-
that mean?
So grift
So,
YouTube, like
Let
Yeah,
him
being
cook.
a
Let him
grifter.
cook.
anti-woke kind of stuff. People that don't really give a shit about Sonic, but they give a shit about
Oh, okay.
they give a shit about Sonic when they got a chance to own the libs. I think-
Whenever they feel that Western ideologies are starting to conquer the world of gaming, or something like
Californian shit. Fucking pronouns.
that. Hey, that's
but
as somebody from California. Fuck you, grifters.
Yeah. But like, so yeah. I mean, I think it was Yellow Flash 2 or something. But like, if you want to know the extent to how much these people care about Sonic, I think Yellow Flash 2. I think it was Yellow Flash 2 referred to Rouge as Rogue throughout the entire fucking video. Rogue. So if you want to know how much they actually care about this, but yeah,
maybe we should not call out specific people.
I don't know.
Maybe that'd be a good idea.
Live and it's already been done. So
no, but if they're grifters, you could call them out. Not usually, but when they
reminds
to that level, we don't want people to get like.
Wait, hold on. That reminds me of a different. Okay, so there's another one of those. There's another one of those grifter YouTubers that also refers to Rouge as Rogue.
It might not,
but it was
be the
for
one
like Sonic Dream Team.
Okay,
but it was for Sonic Dream Team, and that shit was so funny.
But like my policy is, I don't want to dunk on YouTubers. If they're grifters, they can completely go fuck themselves. But okay. Anyways, they're bigger than
yeah,
us,
but then their drones will come this way.
And
I don't want anything to do with them.
It's just,
just
delete the comments.
Finish your thought though.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Rouge's model has had a little bit of a tweak, basically. They have pulled her little outfit up a little, just a little bit, and that's
like in the back. Right?
It was sliding down. It was giving people too much of an imagination. You know, you gotta. It was getting a little cold.
It was getting a little cold. So yeah, they've pulled up the front and back. So,
it's October. It's getting a little chilly. You know.
No, the thing is, You know me, I am Rouge the Bat's canon husband. There's a reason why her name is Rouge the Bat Pup.
Yeah.
Terrible
the
name.
Bat Pup. That sounds horrible.
I have willingly given myself rabies for that woman a few times. I have started a few pandemics for that woman a few times, eating her.
Okay, all right.
I've been anticipating that they would redesign Rouge for fucking years. I'm surprised they didn't do it like 10 years ago, to be honest. Because
you know what? That is true.
It's kind of funny because it is a kid's game series at the end of the day. It would be like if you were watching like Winnie the Pooh and suddenly fucking Jessica Rabbit rocks up. It's always been a little strange.
I got one. I got one that makes
correct. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm kidding.
I got one that makes sense. The Pokemon anime, when they got to the Orange Islands, there was a very specific gym leader, and people were like, "Gee, I wonder why I remember this episode. She had big boobs."
Yep.
Right.
Amen.
But it's always kind of been like, yeah, it's weird to have this kids thing.
Say amen.
Amen, brother.
Amen, brother. I was hoping someone would catch that. Thank you, Dylan.
The thing is, though, there's a lot of...
I heard it too, and I let it go. I'm like, I'm cool with it, whatever.
I thought I imagined it. I thought you said something else, and I was like, no. He said amen.
No, he said amen. Like he's in church, like, preach.
There's a lot of far more radical directions that they could have taken with this. One of which that I think was a perfectly tasteful new take was Rouge's design in Sonic Prime. I thought that was perfectly tasteful. But what they also could have done was given her a reduction up top as well, which I don't think I would have agreed with. Because here's the thing. It's not just that I just want to take her and... But it's also that, like...
Jeez.
I don't
really
like...
gotta move on from the
I don't like setting...
Okay, Dylan?
Look, here's the thing. With Amy, I don't like setting the precedent that the girly girl personality is anything to be ashamed of, or anything that should be frowned upon as regressive or anything like that. Right. I don't like that precedent, and I don't like the precedent that someone who is well endowed is inherently sexualized.
Right.
And I think,
fair.
With this
new
design...
every 3 minutes, though.
With this new design, she's still got mama o'mammaries. They're just a little more... subtle, a little more covered.
A little bit more subdued. Honestly, like,
it's the same dress. They're just covered. I wouldn't have noticed.
That heart shape don't hide shit.
I honestly, like, what was I going to say? I would hope that they would have just, like, adopted, like, the hero's design and just let that be the main design.
That's still got the boobs on. That's got everything but the boobs covered up, that one. Like,
no, it doesn't. It has the boobs covered up,
it's
right?
got a boob window. The hero's one literally has a boob window.
Hold on.
No,
I do like that. I do like her design in Heroes, though.
But anyways, back to the point I was making, though, is that, like, Rouge the Bat is still sexy. She's just not sexualized this time. It's no longer framed through kind of this gazy lens anymore. She just has that body type under her clothes. And I think that's perfectly fine. I think the idea of selling sex in a children's video game series is a bit strange. And I'm not going to pretend I haven't enjoyed it, but at the end of the day, you know, we all got to grow up at some point. And the other thing is, I've still got Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games 2020. All right, we still got Google image search. You know,
I think if you want a game where people kind of start discovering things about themselves, you just go play Fortnite. I mean, have you seen some of those skins?
Right. But
I mean, that's fair.
The thing I've been saying to all these grifter types who want their traditional values and their trad wife bat, I've been saying, look, if you wouldn't still hit it, not that there's anything wrong with it, you're probably just into dudes. And that's really going to get under their skin because they hate that.
And that's
they
fine.
Hate that.
Yeah.
That's woke. They hate it.
That's woke.
Why would I want to be diverse?
But I do agree that the Sonic Prime outfit, you are kind of right about the hero's design. It is more so just like it's a little
everything
cut up top
but
or whatever.
the boobs is covered.
it's just more up to, which they could just pull that up. It doesn't matter. But regardless, like the Prime design was actually like is very elegantly designed. Honestly, something like that, or like even a marriage of that design and
as long as she's still my Rouge under that outfit. But the thing is, this is such a subtle thing. They could have redesigned her. All they've done is a slight tweak. People were saying the back thing is a sexualization thing, but if that's the case, why does Amy wear a backless dress? Like, come on, it'd be ridiculous. Like,
oh god,
yeah.
Well, people are going to say that about Amy too, apparently, you know. So.
Yeah, they haven't pulled her dress up from the back, so like it doesn't matter. It was clearly just a matter of tits.
No
cleavage, watermelons, jugs.
All right.
Shadow Generations.
I think we've made our point.
I think
though.
we're good.
Like,
I think we're good.
I think we've made our point.
Nobody dances around pose law like I do. Anyways, let's shall we now talk about Shadow Generations?
Yeah.
Fine.
Oh wait, actually, I don't know if I can. I was gonna say I wanted to show that thing that I made, but I don't know if.
Show the thing.
It's kind of
is it spoiler territory?
I mean, technically no, because like everyone, like Mephiles was in trailers, so like not really.
Well, then it's not.
Like.
Okay, I was gonna say if it was spoiler territory, I'm just gonna do what one of the developers of Final Fantasy 14 did for like Elden Ring. It's like, all right, we'll release our content, but you got 1 week. Then we're gonna release it.
Okay, so it is like it has cutscenes from the Mephiles fight, which, but it's just for funnies, and I think it'd be a good palate cleanser after talking about Rouge the Bat.
She's still my wife. As long as she's still the same Rouge under those clothes, what do I fucking care?
Okay, so why don't we preface this? I have a big spoiler tag at the very beginning. If you haven't seen the Mephiles boss fight, haven't played it yet, feel free to not watch this. It's only 1 minute and 15 seconds long. But this is
we'll give you the go ahead to come back. You know, we'll let you know. Hey,
yeah, just listen to it audio only, and you'll get the same experience.
Like, hey, you can come back in now. We're done changing.
So this is
just us boys in here.
This is a bit of a celebration of modding being available for Shadow Generations already. We have mods, and I found a mod on Game Banana that was really, really fucking funny. So I made this special thing for the video I released today about how to set up mods for the game. And I just really wanted you guys to see this because I put some effort into it, and I think it's very fun.
Hey, let me turn up the stream real quick. Hang on. Just gotta make sure. Audible. All right.
Okay.
Kind of low-key defeating the object of today's episode title. Let's do this.
I know, but again, this is spoilers just in case you care about specific cutscenes. It doesn't spoil anything.
If you don't
about
go in
the
blind,
game.
basically.
Okay. All right, everyone ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you have 3, 2, 1.
What's this icky?
Oh God! What's with his limbs?
It's moving.
No, don't do that to the Koopa Troopas.
Okay.
No, you don't.
So I missed.
Oh my God!
Mario, I gotta win.
Oh my god, why would we? Oh my god.
Oh my god!
Here we go! Bye-bye! Thank you so much for playing my game. Here we go!
All right, let's see what rank you got.
I don't show it,
Oh,
but it
he
was
didn't
yes.
show it. The
Oh,
coward.
you monster coward! He got an A rank.
At last.
So the
Imagine
fact-
just getting an
All of
A
those
rank.
Years, Super Mario 64 is finally good.
I know, right?
Don't say that to me. It's
I,
been the
hey,
best
you know
game
what?
of all time
Yeah,
for
it-
28 years now.
All right,
So
fine.
it takes a while.
Finally controllable. There, is that better?
Yeah.
It takes a while for for it to not be shit.
There, I hope you guys enjoyed that.
Thank you. I enjoyed it.
That's his
very much.
contribution.
Oh,
Oh, video's over, by the way. Spoilers no longer.
again, I didn't
yeah.
make the mods either. The mods are on Game Banana. That's just
That
mods
is
that exist
crazy.
for the game.
Is it so? I guess that brings up a good question. Are the mods? Are they able to be ported pretty easily to the new version of Generations?
I heard there's an effort
ported-
to port over mods, but it's going to
They
take a lot of
probably
work.
will. But the problem is with mods, I haven't seen any mods for the Generations side yet. That side, they need to find all of the files and where they're located now before they can start porting things over.
Yeah.
Because the file structure is what matters in that point. Like the mod loader can't replace files if it doesn't know where they are. For Generations, for Shadow Generations, everything is in, I think, one folder, so mods have already started popping up, and it's been fun so far.
Yeah, it's quick, honestly.
So, okay.
I believe the older mods have to be converted to like Sonic X Shadow, like the remaster one to support the file structure. But
the
I
file
believe
structure,
there's also an effort to try to make sure that those mods, that if they're made for the remaster, that they're also compatible with the original.
They should be able to. It's just, I think
that is quite the
what
undertaking.
could happen at some point is like someone could probably make a converter so you can just put old mods through it, or like vice versa. Like I've seen that kind of thing with other games. I think maybe Persona 4, the PS Vita and Steam versions, like there is a mod converter, I think, or I might be thinking of maybe Persona 3 portable.
Right.
But stuff like that. It's mostly about, I would say, the file structure. Because again, like the mod loader is not going to be able to replace those files if they're in different places. You need to make sure it knows where the files are. That kind of thing.
Also
they have
depends
to
on
be named correctly.
It also depends on whether or not like this would only affect like changing models, or if it would if it would allow bringing over level mods or complete conversion mods like the Unleashed project.
Oh, that's probably going to be a bit. But
yeah,
I'm sure it could be brought over.
I figured that would be a lot more work than just, it converts it like this and it's easily done. No, I think there's a lot more work put into it. We'll give it a couple of weeks and see how that turns up.
I'll give it like 2 months, and I think like
Sonic fans work quick. They're
Yeah.
fast.
For Shadow Generations, though, it's lucky that it runs on Hedgehog Engine 2 and stuff, so I'm assuming a lot of the intricacies of the game are pretty similar to Frontiers.
Yeah.
And people have been modding that game for a while now.
We should probably get to kind of discussing Shadow Generations, though, because I think we've got about an hour left.
We
and
should.
We do have to account for super chats. So,
yeah, we do.
Oh, yeah,
but
fair.
we will be
Okay.
obviously more in depth with
I see.
Shadow Generations next week when we do a spoiler cast.
Yeah.
But for now, what do we... Okay, let's just go around the table. What do you think of Shadow Generations?
It's the best Sonic game I've ever played. Not Joker.
It might
Frank?
just be the best Sonic game I've ever played as well.
It's definitely up there. I think, honestly, I just everything that we have in this game is top notch. Like, honestly, I wouldn't change a thing. I just wish it was a little bit longer. But that's a great complaint to have. So
For little bits I'd change, but Frank.
it would, yeah. But like overall, it's superfluous.
Frank.
Yeah, it's
It's okay, dude.
Frank?
well,
It's okay.
it's
Let them know. Look, we're here with you. We're all here together.
Yeah.
We got your back. We're right behind you.
it's pretty good.
Is that
Like,
it?
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, is that your phone? Yeah.
Honestly, I'd probably put the game in my top 10.
Nice. Okay.
Like,
Okay.
maybe like 6 or 7.
Top 6?
Top 6, top 7.
That's fair. That's fair.
I will say this. When I did stream it, I didn't really have the greatest time with it because I just felt there were a couple of things that were clunky about the game, and it was kind of affecting my overall experience. But when I did get around to playing it yesterday, and I made it a point to go for all S ranks. First off, if that's your first playthrough idea, no, just play the game. But if you do a repeat on it, have fun. I do appreciate a lot of the things that are done in some of the areas. I don't know exactly how much we can talk about it in the spoiler-free episode. So,
kind of ballpark are you thinking? Because if it's not story and if it's not like final end game stuff, I think it's more.
It's
even Steven.
They've shown every level in trailers too, so technically levels are not spoilers.
They showed way too much in the trailers.
Okay.
I'm going to say it straight.
Yeah, I actually avoided trailers for the longest time because
I was
like,
disappointed with the number of levels that were strictly 2D.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But
I actually kind of.
I don't think it was I don't think it was like overwhelmingly negative. I did find some of the levels to be pretty decent actually, even if they were just 2D, because the camera would just move around and stuff, and actually made it a lot of fun to go through. And some of them was like, oh shoot, I really got to go through, see what I can get all in one level and try to go for that S rank. So they get you to play around with a lot of stuff in that game, and the chaos control is probably my favorite thing to use. It's so much fun.
I love it for S ranking as well. Like, it can be the thing to cinch the gap between an A rank and an S rank is chaos controlling. Oh,
absolutely.
Like, there's times as well where, like, Chaos Island is rife with this, where there's a bit where I'll accidentally end up on the lower path, and there's a bit of platforming that needs doing. I will just chaos control in that moment and get through that platforming section while time is stopped. Because that's the thing, it can stop the timer. So that I thought was a really nice touch.
It's funny, like there were some areas where I was like, oh man, why am I still getting this A rank? And I'm not using the chaos control. Like, I am genuinely making this harder on myself by not using the chaos control. Which actually, I mean, hey, you know what? I can flex that. Hey, I was pretty good. I didn't have to use chaos control all the time. But then it's like, okay, I actually do need it for some areas.
The system this time
it's funny that you mentioned
too.
I think it's probably the best it's ever been.
Yeah,
like it's not ridiculously difficult like Adventure 2, but it's also not super forgiving like Sonic Generations. I think it hits that sweet spot in the middle where you can get like an A rank or something, or some of the earlier levels you can get an S rank, but with some bosses and some of the later levels, you're really gonna have to like get used to all of the mechanics. You're gonna have to really plot your path, plot out the path that you want to take for that level, to just shave off as much time as possible to get that S rank. And I really appreciated that. I think when I started really like trying to plan my routes for each level, that's when I started to really appreciate the game. And at the end of my original playthrough, I said like the game's probably like a 6 or a 6 out of 5 for me. I think it's more like a 7 out of 5 for me.
How do you have
it's really good.
5? That's really
out of
good.
10.
That's such a good score, Frank.
you broke the scale.
He really loves it. I personally would give it a 10 out of 100.
That's not very much.
You have no idea how, like, a couple people in my chat were like, what? The moment I said 6 or 6.5. Because it controls well for the most part. The level design works really well for the most part. And
I was surprised when you were initially quite disapproving of it. Because I was like, I feel like this is all the good ideas Sonic has had in the past, like, decade, given the polish that they needed. And I was like, oh, what do you need, you know? But, like...
I say even the past 20 years, yeah.
I guess. But, like, it does seem that you're warming up a little to it.
I will say this. I really wish I was able to... this isn't so much because I can say, oh, I want to build a better... I can build a better level. I really wish I had the opportunity to build something for this game. Maybe I should learn how to mod a level or something one day.
I've done
because I'm just like...
I've done some level design in Dark Engine before.
Shadow's skill set here, it's just like I feel like I could get a lot more out of it. It just feels like it's like a very it's a very versatile toolbox that I can just, if I can make a level using all of whatever I can have in this, for whatever reason, this game is like where I look at it, it's like, okay,
yeah,
maybe I should learn how to mod a level, because I swear I can do something with this, and it would just be a lot of fun to try to figure it out.
I think
Oh no.
what was I gonna add something? Nah, I lost it for now. But
That's okay.
yeah, I think this has some of the best level design we've seen in a 3D Sonic game, in my opinion. Just for how many routes there are, how you can kind of optimize them, how you can cross over those routes, the lower paths as well. There's very little in terms of, like, say, bottomless pit kind of stuff.
I kept doing a thing where it's like I'll see something on the corner of my eyes, like, no, gotta go back. I want to see what that is.
Yeah, and the game lets you do that. You can go back most of the time.
I also just remembered what my point was going to be. We mentioned in a previous episode how, like, cyberspace, for example, in Sonic Frontiers, had a different kind of control to what Open Zone did. This game does that again, but it's a lot less egregious this time.
I can give it a pass.
Yeah.
I give it a pass this time because it feels like the turn is now tuned around the levels, whereas in Frontiers, it didn't feel like it was tuned correctly. Whereas here, at least, it feels like it matches it. It's like another thing is, like, personally, preference-wise, I would prefer if we could keep more of our momentum when jumping. You still get to keep more of it than you do in base Frontiers, but it's not as good as post-update 2 Frontiers can be when you set it to 0.
Yeah.
One of the other things one thing that I wish you would be allowed to do is that if you do run out of a boost, that you actually started jogging when you move forward, rather than this weird little thing that, like, it's almost like you're walking, and it's like, dude, come on. Like, these are speed characters.
I actually didn't mind
You can go from a walk to a jog.
It's much closer to, like, momentum in a way. Like,
I will say, in terms of the control, just base control of Shadow in this game, this is the snappiest control that, and I mean that in the best way possible, snappiest control that we've had in a Sonic character. The air control, I can actually control him in the air, especially
he's very floaty.
He, like, and I like way. That. I love adventure, so I like that floaty jump, right? So I would rather him be a little bit more floaty than anything.
Or you can like boost off a rail and you just go flying, and it's like,
it's got all of the movement tech that I liked about Frontiers minus the spin dash, but I don't think the spin dash would work in the game because, again, it's tuned around the level design this time.
Whatever, we don't need it.
I liked it. I like being able to fling myself off of things with the spin dash, but I think the other thing here is that, like, obviously they're working on Frontiers as, like, a basis here. You could tell that a lot of Frontiers movement tech has been ported over to this. But for one, I like the fact that you can go fast without boosting. Like, Shadow still feels nice and speedy without it. Secondly, it no longer feels like a bike without tires on, if you get me. Like, I liked the movement in Frontiers, but it would be like bump, 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 bump everywhere he goes. Not only is Sonic shaking all over the place, the camera's shaking all over the place. Shadow feels very glidey as he moves, and, like, that is how it should feel. The one thing that I really wanted to see fixed that has been remedied but not fixed is loop physics, because I've played around with this. Like, it's one of the first things I checked out about Frontiers, and accordingly, first thing I checked out here was, how are the loop physics this time? Because they are important at the end of the day. A loop should not just be a purely cosmetic thing. There should be some challenge to getting around it. So, I noticed that Shadow cannot make it around a loop without a dash pad. You have to hit the dash pad. However, rather than having, like, a row of dash pads, you've got just a couple that you have to aim for, and if you don't hit the dash pads, you don't make it through. So, good thing here is he can no longer walk around a fucking loop-de-loop at bottom speed. Okay, great.
Right.
Gold stars, you tied your shoelaces today,
Gum drops,
secondly, the fact that you actually have to aim for something within the loop in order to get around restores a bit of challenge to it. Again, good on you, Sega. I just wish we could get a physics engine that would allow us to do loops without having to use dash pads, but without being able to walk around them either. And you still can get higher than you should in just walking. So we're not there yet. We still got a little bit of fine-tuning. Yeah. Is it really important within the context of this game? No. It is a nitpick in the grand scheme of things. But if you don't pick your nits, you will have no blood left in your head. Okay? So, pick your nits.
I like that.
I will say... Good. Yeah, that was good. But I also think that the hub world was very well put together.
That
in my
was the
opinion.
highlight of the game, in my opinion.
Everything felt organic. You still saw like a little bit of like floating rails, but in all honesty, like you got so much stuff that connected. Well, and also like this is like a very Void-esque like time, sanctuary that we're kind of in, right? Like we're kind of stuck in time. That makes sense.
Is that the Shadow Gens team managed to make a fucking white void look more lived in and characterized than the fucking Starfall Islands?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Like no question. I mean, that is true though. Like I actually just genuinely had a fun
the
time.
Cocoa weren't enough?
What do you mean? Home to an ancient civilization versus fucking white void, and the white void wins.
But I'm still thinking about the Cocoa.
Still thinking about the Cocoa, but
yeah, no, like it's like I love, like I'm still trying to 100% like that side of the game. I'm about 80% there, but it doesn't feel like a chore. I don't feel like I'm like running for like 50 miles just to get to a spot in the map where I want to be. And I'm not saying that Frontiers took a long time to traverse. It just wasn't fun to traverse.
I disagree with that, but like I will say this hub world is a million billion times better in every way. In terms of art direction, in terms of navigation. The fact is, like, in Frontiers, if you were on an island, you run to one end of the island, oh, there's grass here, run to another end of the island, oh, look, more grass, another end of the island, more grass. Whereas with this one, it's like, here's some fucking buildings, here's a fucking stony wall bit, here's some fucking volcanic areas and stuff. Like, even if it's smaller, it feels more packed. I said to Dylan on his live stream, and I think he took this as a diss against the White World, which it wasn't meant to be, was... Frontiers presented us with a field with some pixelated trees. Whereas this one gave us a couple of buildings that you can go in, a fucking cave. Like, it gave us so much to actually play with that it ends up
What did I say? How did I respond?
You're like, yeah, but this one's still
gave
good,
you a playground.
Basically. Your response was like, this is still good.
Oh, okay. I must have thought you were gassing up the emptiness of Frontiers.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm saying...
Nah, it's pretty empty.
I still enjoyed running around the open zone of Sonic Frontiers, but obviously that place was lacking in identity, the art direction was abysmal, and it wasn't the most well thought out thing. This is what I want to see going forward. Or this, but bigger. Like, make it bigger. If you're gonna do
honestly, yeah. I think there were some platforming challenges within this hub world that felt a little bit too close together. There's some times where I was trying to like just double jump with the legacy controls, and I ended up like home and attacking something that I wasn't even like looking at. But that was like, that's the exception to the rule, like everything else. I got into like this flow state
purely for the sake of, if it's going to be an open world, it needs to be bigger, basically. I didn't really have much issue with like stuff being bunched together. What I also love though is that like there is so many different ways to kind of explore this hub world using the Doom abilities. I'm not going to give away the little treat you get after beating the game, but there's just like using the Doom morph is a good way to get some practice using the Doom. So I still think
you're going to need all need all the practice you need for the Doom morph.
They needed, they needed to incentivize practice a bit more, I think, because the thing is, the hub world does give you some ways to navigate using Doom Surf, but it doesn't really give you a chance to attack anything with Doom Surf, which had a learning curve to it.
I will say, I've heard some people online like talk about the Doom morph as being like very difficult to like get the hang of, and like I'm not trying to say that I'm like this elite gamer, but like I didn't really have as much trouble.
It took,
I guess,
like
I get it. You didn't have any problems, so everyone else is invalid.
Yeah, everyone else is bad. Yeah, exactly.
Piece.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say like with the Doom morph when I first
I'll just show them my S ranks.
The first few times I used Doom Morph, I was like, I cannot make heads or fucking tails of this thing. After a while, I began to realize, okay, you shoot off at the angle at which you let go, but I don't think that was conveyed very well.
It wasn't, and I guess it was a thing where it wasn't luck. It was luck involved.
Also,
it was like a little bit.
For example, another thing is like the Metal Overlord fight requires you attack the Metal Overlord while on the Doom Surf. I did not feel ready for that fight when I did it, but I felt happy that I managed.
Yeah, like it is kind of like in terms of like the pacing of this mode, a lot of stuff is like you learn this ability and then you're like kind of thrown into like a very difficult challenge like pretty soon after learning the ability.
Given that it's like a 3-hour game, they don't have much time to teach you these. You can kind of make the most of the open zone in order to do that, but like
fair.
So yeah,
I think if they really wanted you to practice in the open zone, they needed to add a little bit more to it, just so that way you can like get a feel for it. Yeah. But aside from that, I enjoyed the Doom powers. The Doom Morph is just not necessarily my favorite. I found it to be a little clunky.
I liked it because Spider-Man.
I ended up enjoying all the Doom power-ups. There's nothing that I would like necessarily change, but I do agree that maybe like spacing out the time frame between like retrieving the abilities and then having to do something difficult with those abilities could have been stretched out a little bit more. It also doesn't help that the hub world, it's a blessing and a curse, but you can traverse it in any which way that you want. So there really was no incentivizing using the Doom Morph to travel up this like crevice as opposed to just like finding a rail on the side.
Travel up your crevice.
What I mean?
That is true. Jesus Christ. The levels do give you options like, hey, you don't want to use this? Okay, well, there's a spring or there's a rail. Go for that instead, and you'll stay on the ground, and you can just boost and, just deal with the issues there. Or deal with the obstacles there, I should say.
Yeah, exactly.
You've been quite chill. Like, what's your kind of take on, like, kind of implementation on Doom powers and the White World?
Well, I really like the hub world. I think the hub world's fantastic. It's one of my favorite parts of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I was gonna say something about the 2D stuff earlier, kind of moved away from it, and I forgot to.
Oh, we'll get on the 2D. Don't worry.
But the 2D stuff. At first, I was kind of not happy that there were so many 2D acts. But like again, it's one per zone. There's a 3D act and a 2D act. But the 2D gameplay is really good in this game. Like, I ended up by the end of it really enjoying it, even though I still like the 3D act more. Right. And the cool thing about it is the 3D acts don't have any 2D in them. Like, they actually did it. They actually split it properly this time, which is, like, nice.
That's one.
And the Doom powers, I found everything except for the Doom Morph to be really easy to use and a really nice step up. Like Doom Morph, I get how it's supposed to work. I'm not saying it's specifically the game, how it works. It's definitely, I need to figure out, how long to hold the button, like when to just use the zip thing. And I got to figure that out more. I think it's just like a more advanced mechanic I wasn't expecting.
They could convey it a bit better,
but it is good. I think it's fun to swim. Yeah. But it could be a little bit better, I would say. But I think because I've seen plenty of people have the hang of it. Frank said he's got the hang of it, stuff like that.
I would just say, like, maybe put like a little line
I never said that.
I would say maybe put a little line going from it showing where you're going to shoot.
I got better at it, but that was still the one thing that bothered me. That was the thing that still kind of got in my way. Even when I got to the very end of the game, it was like,
I would say I was
still kind of iffy on it.
Either a better tutorial or when you latch onto it, it shows a little line showing your trajectory where you would go. That would be probably quite helpful. A bit more like the laser wisp in a way. It is funny because I did predict that these would be like wisps, and they're fuck all like wisps in the slightest. They are nothing like wisps. And I'm happy with that. I'm so happy about that.
I do love...
The Doom Wing is like really fun. And
but
I also
keep it on the... Try not to talk too much about Doom Wing, though, today, because...
That was like one of the first things they showed in any trailer.
It is, but like try not to talk too much about the mechanic of it, because that is an end game feature, effectively.
I don't. You play as Doomwing in the first level.
No.
Yeah, you get it early in the game.
They give it you in the 1st
I'll
level,
put
and
in-
then
I'll
you don't
put
get
in
it.
the
Let's
back
not.
rooms- I'll put in the back rooms the reason why I don't think we should talk about Doomwing.
All right, Dylan. Let's just not.
Okay, so
Let's just
Doomwing,
not.
it basically the thing about it. I'm not even. You don't even know what I'm going to say. What I like about the Doomwing power is that it opens the game up a lot after you've already finished it. You can go back and find new routes to play, and also they have a whole different set of time trial, or like they record your times separately for Doomwing and normal, which I think is very cool. You can get 2 S ranks per level.
I didn't even know that. That's actually
I just saw that earlier today. It's very cool.
Something that I did want to bring up is that the spear, I kind of wish that was on the left trigger sometimes, because it just felt weird. Like, oh, I'm going from like jumping, the homing attack, and then I have to hold Y or triangle for some of you. Just so I can use it. It was like, it just felt like I was just like quickly shifting my thumb. It was a little weird at first.
Having to stun enemies before homing attack them gave me a mini heart attack every time, but I kind of like it. Like, they made homing attacking enemies into a challenge in a way.
Less mindless.
But
like
with the
that was pretty much what I that was pretty much those are like my only like really big nitpicks with the game. It was just stuff that kind of got in the way of the flow of the levels, you know, like you kind of have a good thing going, you're going through everything, and then like say you have to use a doom morph, it's like, oh, it kind of slows things down a little bit, or you have to use the spear on specific enemies or switches, and that kind of slows things down a bit. So wasn't too big on those, but I think they were fine enough.
Yeah.
Also, with the open zone as well, one thing I really kind of liked was how it wasn't just a means of getting from A to B. You do have challenges and little sub things to do around the open zone. Kind of things that take inspiration from kind of like the action chain challenges from Frontiers Update 2, some racy stuff. As in, like, racing, not...
What?
Anyways. Just different...
You got more Rouge the Bat?
Are the grifters are back again? What the fuck happened?
Oh, no.
Okay, look. Shut up. You got a little...
They're covering you up even more.
You got little treasure chests and stuff.
He's covered head to toe now.
Shut the fuck up. And the collection room as well. I really like the collection room.
Oh, yeah. That was
2D
nice.
to 3D ratio is much better this time. What with the hub world being entirely 3D, the collection room being 3D. Granted, okay, so moving on to kind of talking about the Act 2 thing. I had kind of predicted it from the jump that it would be Act 1 is 3D, Act 2 is 2D, because that's the Sonic generation thing, basically.
Yeah, fair.
And I'd kind of accepted that. And I will say this. Half the time I complain about 2D in 3D Sonic games, it's not that the 2D's bad. Like, the 2D sections in the modern Sonic stages of Sonic Generations aren't bad, in my opinion. I think the majority of Sonic Colors is also good. I don't think it's inherently a bad thing. I just personally want them to pull the trigger on a fully 3D Sonic. And I do not subscribe to the philosophy that, oh, they have to do that for certain platforming things or because it's too hard. I don't subscribe to that philosophy. They did it back in Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2. They did it in Sonic Dream Team. They can do it here. Yeah. And I think 2D doesn't really mean anything to Shadow. I will say there are things that do mitigate this a little bit. One of them is having the 2D be more over the shoulder than just straight up from the side was kind of cool. And how the camera moves around and how these are kind of centered around timing-based challenges. But I'm not changing my tune. Even if they've done a nice job, probably as nice of a job as they can do, I am not changing my tune. It's time for a fully 3D Sonic game. Just do it.
Yeah. And like the 3DX in this are proof enough that you can have a fully 3D game, still be engaging, still have platforming challenges, and
and
not grow stale.
I revisit the 3D acts constantly, but since beating the game, I haven't really revisited the 2D ones.
Yeah, and the 2D ones are still well-designed levels. Like nothing in here is bad. Nothing in here is badly designed, at least not in my opinion. Like all the levels, like I can get into a nice flow state with a lot of them, especially whenever like I can, use my, Doom powers to the best of their ability. I do agree with Frank that sometimes on the button mapping, I'm having to like claw my controller. That way my index finger can hit the Y button while I'm jumping. That way I can do the Chaos Spear. But like, again, that's like the exception, right?
Right.
No, like I like in all honesty, and this is gonna sound like I'm jumping the gun tremendously, but if this team that did Shadow Generations made Sonic Adventure 3, I would be happy with that.
Yeah, or like Sonic Frontiers 2. I mean,
or Sonic Frontiers 2. Yeah,
Frontiers 2 is still being headed by Mario Kishimoto, as far as I understand.
For sure.
So it's still not going to be the director of this one. And there is that little bit of me. It's like, I'm not asking for them to like fire anyone. But there's a part of me that's like, oh, could the person that did this not do the next big Sonic game? Because it did such a good job.
Or
at the same time.
Or have them have them collaborate on this.
Also, I can't help but acknowledge that every single one of Mario Kishimoto's entries into the Sonic franchise has been a little amateur in spots. I'm not saying that's him, but it just happens to be tied to that name. It's Pontac and Graph Syndrome all over again. But like, look at look at Frontiers. The game's fucking amateur. Look at look at Sonic Forces. It's amateur hour, the game. Like and then there's like conveyance issues with Sonic and the Black Knight. Like, just the fucking King Arthur boss fight doesn't convey what it's meant to do. Similar issue persists with the fucking Supreme Titan fight in Sonic Frontiers, Like, so, like, conveyance issues are a thing in Kishimoto games. Fucking slapdash platform placement is a thing in Kishimoto games. I can only really attribute that, but I might be completely wrong about it. Either way, I'm looking forward to seeing what he cooks up, because he has been a man of his word on everything. He's kept his word on everything. I'm just hoping that they'll be working with kind of the foundations of Shadow Generations, and that we won't see a lot of what I think Chebzone would refer to as Kishi moments in the gameplay.
I do love that.
I love that.
But yeah,
I hope that is true, because, and I am okay with this being on record. The level design in this game and the gameplay is probably the best it's been since Sonic Generations.
Yeah. I mean, I
agree.
It's one of those things where I don't want to risk being prisoner of the moment, because it's very easy to play the latest thing, enjoy it, and say it's the best one ever.
It's there is recency bias.
It's true though.
Here's the thing. With Sonic games, with every 3D Sonic game, every single one of them, it's a matter of what you're willing to forgive. There's a forgiveness factor to it, all right? Even if it's your favorite game of all time, there is a forgiveness factor that is a lot wider than it would be for most other gaming IPs. There are problems with Sonic that we wouldn't accept in other places. Shadow Generations doesn't have that. Shadow Generations is the first time I've looked at one and said...
I feel like I went the other way on that.
Really?
Well, you got to remember, my first playthrough of it wasn't the kindest towards it. But then I gave it another go, and I really saw what made the game tick, and I was like, no, this is really good stuff.
Well, my process is when is the monkey's paw gonna curl? And it just didn't with Shadow Generation.
And in my opinion, and this is gonna sound crazy, the monkey's paw in this game was the remastered Generations. Even though I do love that. For me,
you're absolutely right. Though here's the thing: is people clowned on that one critic who said that the problem with this game was that it's bolted onto a dated remaster, and why can't Sega just go all in? That
I agreed with
valid.
that. Yeah.
Like, would you rather have?
I guess.
Would you rather have Shadow Generations as a 3-hour experience with a free Sonic Generations, or have a 6-hour version of Shadow Generations? I'm gonna pick the 6-hour version of Shadow Generations, but the thing is, this game to Sega is ultimately something to capitalize on Movie 3, and it is also a game between mainline games as well, which is incredible considering a game of less than this length used to qualify as a mainline game. Fucking Sonic Forces is much shorter than Shadow Generations. I mean, they said in the things that Sonic Generations is the longer half. It wasn't for me when I played it through. Admittedly, there's probably more content in the actual challenge gates of Sonic Generations, but Shadow Generations took me longer because I probably spent more time in the White World.
It's a thing, and I try to say this last time we were all together, and and I did get a little bit of pushback, but I think it's just because like I could already see that the Shadow Generations portion was going to be like the main dish for me, and it's like I just want more of that. I've already played Generations, and I like OG Generations like to death. I still do, but I really don't need another copy of that game. You know what I mean? It's like if people want to play it, like the thing is that sure, it like the console side of Generations, it probably wasn't accessible to like people who only have a Switch or only have like a PlayStation 5 or whatever.
PS4, PS5.
Yeah,
and if
exactly.
you have the broken remaster or the broken upgraded version on Xbox, which was why I was going to say, you know what? No, I disagree. I actually am happy that both of these games are in this package, because you have a game that's pretty solid like Sonic Generations, even though it does have its flaws. It's still a solid game.
Yeah.
And then you have Shadow Generations, which is another solid game. So I don't
also
see
the two
big
stories
problem here.
feed into each other as well. Like
No, I'm actually completely smack dab in the middle of you two here. No, please do not say anything, Pup. Please do not say anything about that game. I'm smack dab in the middle in terms of opinion.
I don't get it.
Well,
actually, no. I'm. Here's the thing: is I wasn't saying I agree with that critic. I was saying they're valid. I don't agree with them because
exactly.
Don't say anything about the comment I made because I phrased it a very weird way. But
no, you didn't.
So what I'm saying is,
I don't get it.
I agree.
So I'm kind of wedged between you guys.
What are
you trying to fucking say?
Going in for.
What are you trying to say?
Anyway,
what the fuck are you trying to say?
Reaching around for a big old.
I'm trying to talk now.
Reaching around for a big old hug.
So what I mean is,
Frank,
I could take it as like, let's say, Shadow Generations as like, let's say it was on its own. If they charged me $30 for that and that alone, I would gladly have paid that. I'd pay $40 for Shadow Generations as it is, because Forces was $40 and it was worse than Shadow Generations by miles.
Try not to tell
So
Sega
$40
that,
Shadow Generations standalone, I would take that absolutely.
Yeah, don't tell them that.
Don't tell them that.
With a $10 tacked on Generations, I'm also fine with that because I do love Generations. And
don't tell them that.
I don't know, bringing it to more consoles is fine with me. It's just I don't really need it myself because I'm only going to play it on PC anyway. So I could really go either way with this. And I feel like if they continue to do like, here's a new shorter game with a remaster of another game that's loosely related to it, that's fine. Like I'll accept that. But I would be fine if they decided next time to go, hey, here's a 7-hour new game. You know, like I would ideally like that.
I mean, like Dream Team is 6 hours approximately, and I would happily pay around about $40 for Dream Team.
That's $8 a month.
I don't know if I would completely agree with having like 7 to 8 hours of Shadow Generations, because I think around like the 5 or 6 hour mark, I'd start getting tired.
That's
an opinion.
That's you.
I mean,
that's you being.
Well, I think it's
like.
Well, it's a thing where it's like there would be more levels, there would be more content to consume. It wouldn't just be the base game, but just
more story.
You keep it fresh, you know? Like maybe add like a mode where you play as someone in like a mech or something.
For me, like
have a 2-hour Ikaruga campaign in the middle.
I know people kind of
Ikaruga playing as freaking Omega dibs.
Well, that'd be fun.
But for me, I know people are trying to do the whole like character cross remaster type deal, like Silver X whatever. But
Forces,
like in my opinion, you can only really do this one time. In my opinion, from this point forward,
that is
how good.
Pussy.
No, it's not. It's not.
I'm
going
to take a guess and say that Sega will try it again.
I hope they will.
Here's the thing. For me, I want them to go all out in like this. Like for me, I would want them to go all out next time. I don't want another remaster of a game and then have a better game attached to it. I just want them to make that better game.
So what you're saying is, when Sonic 4 rolls around, you want an Amy Rose video game that clocks in at 7 hours.
Because
you know what? I'll fuck with it.
I will take the Amy Rose video game over Sonic 4 any day.
If it's fun, then heck yeah, I don't care. As long as it's fun.
I agree. I will take it too. I agree.
Yeah, what are you doing?
As long as it's
sexist?
not
That's
Sonic 4,
crazy.
because Sonic 4 is the drizzling shits.
I'm talking about
Well,
Sonic
that's the
4 the
thing, like-
Episode
movie,
1 and 2.
you big dribble poo.
Oh, Sonic 4 movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sonic 4
I thought you meant
movie.
for the
Ah.
That's why I said Amy,
See,
because
this-
Sonic 4 the movie's probably going to be Amy's movie.
This is why you have to be specific, because we have another thing
Yeah,
called
that's
Sonic
why you
4,
gotta be
and it is a very
specific.
I
shitty
just thought
set of
that
video games.
I just thought that you'd probably have some understanding of my music and my
No,
taste
Pup, I
and
don't
my
understand
struggles.
anything you say.
Well,
Like,
come
No,
a bit
because I think they're
closer,
kind of
maybe you'll
shit,
understand
but that's a
more.
whole different discussion.
And again, and like I know I'm
Maybe stop. Maybe if
I
your
know-
head's not up your ass.
I know I'm
Listen!
talking about I'm talking about myself here, right? Like,
Oh,
because I know that not
Magnate's a
everyone's gonna
shame.
share. I know not everyone is gonna like share the same like I guess opinion that I do, because there's a lot of people who are going into this not playing Sonic Generations before. But in my opinion, and this is just me, I just wanted more of Shadow Gens. I have barely touched Sonic Gens since getting the game.
Don't sleep
You
on
know?
it, to be
Yeah.
fair. It does
Fair enough.
recontextualize things a little.
I mean, I don't know. It's just a thing where it's like a lot of the recontextualization is kind of superfluous, in my opinion. It doesn't.
No,
warrant
that's
a
not what I
whole
mean. That's
other
I
play-
mean, it's like, so a lot of people kind of compare this to like a Bowser's Fury kind of thing. But
Sure.
there's something else I would compare it to. I'd say it's more
Okay.
like, what if you bought Sonic Generations, you slipped in the disc, and it said Hero or Dark Story, and it's just like, oh man, Sonic Generations as an SA2 thing, that's awesome. That's how I view it.
I don't know.
In my opinion,
I still think of it as like the Mario 3D World Bowser's Fury
The
thing.
thing is, though, Mario Bowser's Fury has nothing to do narratively.
it doesn't. No,
If
and, like,
anything,
and
it's
that,
got more to do with Sunshine.
Technically, that's a lot.
no, it was the same thing.
I
with
look at
Bowser's
it-
Fury too. Like for me, where it's
I
like,
look at it with the gameplay, where you have a game that's about a decade old, and then you have this new game that plays more like a more recent one that released.
Well,
you
it's
have the
also
same thing going
funny-
on with Generations. You have Generations about a decade old, and then you have Shadow Generations, which plays a little closer to Sonic Frontiers.
What's also funny to me, though, now that I think about it, is that Bowser's Fury is pretty much a sequel to Sunshine, narratively, right? And Sunshine was not the most well-received game in the world, and it's from the GameCube era. Shadow Generations, narratively, is more of a sequel to Shadow 05, which was from the GameCube era, and not a very well-received game. Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, it might be a bit of a stretch.
I don't know
That's-
why it makes me
just a
so
bit.
frustrated when people call it Shadow of 5. It's the only Shadow game.
It's not! Shadow Generations exists,
That's
you
so
idiot!
fucking weird.
Also,
I know,
Shadow
but they-
no,
it's-
Shadow
it's-
Generations
You
is
have
the
Shadow,
game.
and then-
it's the confusion. It could be, I could be talking about the character,
It's
I could be
called-
talking about the
you
game.
call it Shadow the Hedgehog and Shadow Generations. Those are two different
No,
titles.
because
You
if
don't
I
you
have
have
talk
to-
about,
Shadow
if I
one
talk
and
about
Shadow
Shadow the
Generations.
Hedgehog, I could be talking about the
Okay.
character Shadow the Hedgehog. That'd be like saying
Okay.
Shadow the
If you
Hedgehog
say- if you
is in
say
Sonic
Shadow
Movie
the
3.
Hedgehog is my favorite character. I'm not going to think you're talking about the
No,
fucking
but
video
if I
game.
say, oh look, Shadow the Hedgehog's in Movie 3, you might be thinking that maybe they fucking pull out
game?
The video
the
game, the
GameCube
video
copy
game.
of Shadow the Hedgehog.
That's
That's
crazy.
so interesting. Dude, I think I have enough cognitive capacity to tell what
I
you're
don't
talking
think
about when
you
say
fucking did.
Shadow the
Alright,
Hedgehog.
I tell you what, I'll put it to the test. I'll put it,
It's-
I will put
Okay,
it to the
Minor
test.
nitpick, and he gets fucking roasted for this.
So-
one. What kind of
so-
bullshit is
so-
that? Seriously,
test,
Puff,
motherfucker.
stroking his own
So-
dick.
I will kill you.
So
It's fucking stupid.
Oh,
the
kill you.
Bowser. So the Bowser's Fury comparison
I'm not
is
call-
actually
I-
pretty
I'm never
apt, in
calling
my
it Shadow
opinion.
05.
Wait, you mean Bowser's
Like the-
Fury 21, right?
Yeah, Bowser's
Shadow
Fury.
of 5. The only people that call it Shadow of 5 are
Disconnect
people
now.
who can't count or people who don't understand things. Sorry.
But like,
Idiot.
so that is a very apt
Please
comparison
contact
because
clues, fellas.
okay, so like, let me get this point out real quick, then we can move on. Like Bowser's Fury is a good like actual comparison because I only played the Bowser's Fury portion. I didn't touch
Oh,
the
really?
3D World. Yeah, no, I did like I
3D,
didn't.
3D
want
World's
to.
not too different, but it did increase the speed of everything, and you have a dive move, and I find it more enjoyable than the original one.
Yeah, and that's
It's
Yeah.
a change, but it's more
I
fun,
guess-
I would say.
for me though. I guess
This-
it's a
this
thing
is a
where
better
Bowser's
and better
Fury was just
comparison.
more interesting to play. So like, obviously, I'm going to gravitate more towards that, and I just wish that there was more of that. I'll be honest, I do have a little bit of like remake and remaster fatigue in the games industry. It seems like there's just so much of that shit going on, and I would just rather them just like go all the way with like a newer concept, you know. And like that's just me though.
It is unbiased as far as I can see, so go away.
But you get what I'm saying? The whole
Yeah,
like,
no, I know exactly
Yeah,
what
yeah,
no, I
I
see
know,
what you mean.
I know what you get.
okay, you don't have to agree. I just want you to get what I'm saying. That's all.
Yeah, we get it.
I agree.
We
I do
Okay.
agree with you.
we're a
You
little
can't stop me.
crunched for time right now. So are we okay?
I'm gonna
with
start
doing
calling it Shadow 1.
Are we okay
Shadow
with
1
doing super
Makes more sense
chats?
than Shadow 05.
How does it
Shadow
make more sense than Shadow 05?
Because
It's not the
game.
fifth Shadow game.
Where's Shadow
05 is
01,
stupid
2,
title.
3, and 4?
Calling it Shadow 05 just more closely relates it to Sonic 06, and
Where
we
did
don't need that.
What's
Where
the
is
big- what's the
Shadow
big
1 through
deal?
4?
What is the big deal?
I missed 4 different games. What the
sounds stupid.
fuck?
It sounds ridiculous.
It
Call
does not sound
It
ridiculous.
just sounds like
Okay,
it's like-
okay.
No, I love you, but it
Honestly,
does sound ridiculous.
You guys are being a bunch of silly
Pup, I
willies.
tolerate you. It's
No.
pretty stupid.
The reason why we call it Sonic 06 is because Sonic the Hedgehog is already a title in the franchise.
Yeah, but you've seen
Exactly.
the trouble I have.
There's like
with
3 other
referring
games. There are
to
2 other
Sonic
games with that name.
Generations as just generations, while not factoring in that Shadow Generations is also called Generations. You
But
see the
fuck,
problem?
they have 2 different titles. That's a different situation.
It's just easy to call it Shadow 05.
No, you're just stupid.
No, you
It's so dumb.
uh,
Okay, let's just move on. Let's move on before everyone
It's
starts
okay.
going.
I'm
to the
getting an
F1
aneurysm.
podcast.
What the
he can
fuck?
continue to be a big silly
Like calling
goose.
Sonic Heroes
Well-
Sonic the Heroes 2003.
But that's the
Like-
thing, is that there's no
Sonic
character
Heroes
called-
03. Let's
There
fucking
is
Heroes
no
03,
character
Heroes
called
03, there we
Sonic
go.
Heroes, is there? What
can't wait to
character
call
do
it-
you know who is called Sonic Heroes? Hmm?
I
Hey
can't
guys,
wait.
Did you know my?
Sonic
Did
because
you guys?
people call him a
Did you
hero
guys
all
know
the
my
time.
favorite game is Sonic Adventure 99?
Tell you what,
Oh, I
type
can't
in,
wait for
Or
Sonic
98, I
Adventure
should say.
2. Oh,
type in Shadow the Hedgehog on Google image search right now. If the first image is not of Shadow 05, then you owe me an apology.
You're a stupid bastard. It's the newest thing is going to be.
Say that again, you big
Shadow the
bitch.
Hedgehog,
What
the
did
first
you just
result is
fucking
movie
call me?
Shadow, you dipshit, because he's the most updated version of the character.
Oh, you don't call him fucking movie Tails, though, do you? Or,
yeah,
sorry,
we do call them movie versions.
bad
Yes, we
example,
do.
bad example. You don't call him movie Tom
Oh
Wachowski,
my god,
do
look
you?
at that. Pup
He got
speaking
himself,
before
he got
thinks
You
himself.
have
crazy.
to be.
Dylan
Never
wins.
You
happens.
have to be specific, is what I'm saying.
Unleashed 08. Yo, that goes kind of hard
There's
though.
only one Sonic
08
Unleashed. God
Unleashed.
damn it! There's only
When
ever
you
been
say
one Sonic
Shadow
Unleashed.
05, you're
Pup, there are 3. Pup.
Shut up. When you call it
There-
Shadow
no, no,
05,
no.
you are automatically calling everyone you're talking to stupid because you think that they don't understand what you're talking about just based on your words.
Look,
That
experience
is why it's
has taught me
aggressive.
that I am the
That is why
smartest
it's
person in the world and everyone else is cattle. What am I supposed to do, hmm?
In your own little bubble.
That's a you problem, I think, honestly.
I'm gonna have diarrhea.
Frontiers 22.
If you aren't able to use context
I
clues
love
in your
this. Let's
statement
just
to
do
understand you're talking about a character versus a game, then I cannot help you.
Hey, okay. So if I
Generations
say,
11.
if I say I like Shadow the Hedgehog, that could have two meanings.
You mean Shadow 1, right?
If I say I like Shadow the Hedgehog, that could have two meanings.
And that's
If
okay.
I say I
But,
like,
okay, so
if
do
I
you
say I
start
like
this
Shadow
whole
05,
conversation, I
that
like
has
Shadow the
only-
Hedgehog, and you wait for them to respond?
you don't understand. You
That's a
don't.
very
You
like
just
it's a
don't-
very
you have no
broken
grasp
conversation.
Of,
You can say that,
you have no grasp
but like
of
if you
the
don't
language.
follow
I
it up with
You just
you know because
I
the levels
guess-
because of the story,
Okay.
then people are going to be like, great. Like they're not going to care either way.
Oh, they're gonna care. Everyone. cares
I
greatly.
guess in 2005 the shadows were a little better. You know, sunlight was nicer. They were casting better shadows. at
Yeah,
that
yeah.
time.
Are we
I
talking
guess
about
it.
like the actual like absence of light, or are we talking about the character, or are we talking about the game?
Okay, yeah, no. High Speed Chase just had a great comment. Have you played Shadow the Hedgehog? No, he's a character. I can't play cards with him. if you say, I love Shadow the Hedgehog, I love playing Shadow the Hedgehog, people are gonna know what you mean.
Untrue. Maybe they've never
like,
heard
dude,
of Shadow
Shadow-
before. See?
It's huge.
What if they've never?
Shadow is so
what if they
good.
don't know
Oh,
who Shadow
oh,
is?
so you role play Shadow? Okay.
What if they don't
Yeah.
know who Shadow is? You could say Keanu Reeves.
Why are you
Well,
talking?
then why are you having this
Google it.
conversation
You
with
could
them?
say
Why
you
are
could say Keanu Reeves plays Shadow the Hedgehog. Does that mean he's got his
Yeah.
GameCube
Yes.
out and he's playing it?
And
No, it
people are
means he
gonna
plays
know
a
what that means
character.
because he's
You
weird.
ridiculous,
He's
you
got-
no, he's got
ridiculous man. You big
He's
silly.
got the PS2 version because he bought the wrong one. He got the PS2 version. He bought the wrong one.
Like, look, here's the thing.
Listen,
if
the
you're talking to
poll-
someone and they
The
don't know
poll
who
has
Shadow
decided.
is,
The poll has decided.
The poll can be shoved.
poll? I didn't even know there
You
was
can
a
shove
poll.
the poll.
The poll has
The,
decided.
the poll is written by
Lube that
someone
poll
who is
up and
trying
shove
to
it.
rewrite history.
Okay, you make a
Yeah.
poll then.
Oh, what are we doing? Like, are we doing a rewrite of
I
this?
can't
like,
actually make a poll.
Clinton?
Okay. All right. Let's move on.
Alright, that's it.
Let's
Super
move
chat
on.
time. Let's go.
Hang
Yeah.
on, Wait.
Yes.
I have to.
I think we're gonna get some resignations after this show.
Right. Okay. I've started a new poll, totally unbiased. Okay. There you go. All right. And that can go while we do super chats. Minimal hijinks, guys, because we are crunched for time. Okay. So, Dilnor.
I already hate this. Okay. This is why you don't let the majority vote.
Hold on.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, no, as long as if it's yes, then I respect you, but if it's no, then you're all silly.
Well, what do you know?
I'm gonna report. I'm reporting the poll.
You can't report a poll. Let Dylan read.
Listen,
Yes, I can.
I'm an English major.
I
if you
see
can't use context clues, that's on you.
Dylan,
Like calling it Shadow of Five is stupid.
Dylan, read the thing.
That's pretty good. Get good at.
All right, let's see. Sonic fan 1661.
Oh, as
$2
opposed to just
When are we
Sonic
gonna
fan.
see Sonic and Shadow kissing.
Shut up.
Sorry, go on. Yep. When are we gonna? Yep.
You said minimal hijinks, and you're already hijinksing.
I know.
Interesting.
It's hard. It's really difficult. I'm really trying.
Seems
He's like-
incredible to me.
He's like, oh, it's hijinksing time and hijinksed all over.
It's difficult for me. Okay. All right. You're being ableist. Anyways, Borger. Let's see. Sends $2. Shadow Gens fucks so hard, dude. I need more, and I'm right there with you, Lit. Borger.
Wait, did we not do the first one?
We did. The burgers go
Yes.
beneath.
Oh wait, yeah, no, we never did.
We never did Sonic Fan
I don't think
1661.
we ever did answer that question.
When
What
are
do
we
you mean?
gonna see
Hey,
Sonic and Shadow kissing?
I mean, we did.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think the
Yeah,
title of
Why
the
do you
game
think it's
is?
called Sonic X Shadow?
Shadow Generations
Isn't that
24.
There was like a whole there was a whole hour cutscene where they were just
Sonic-
making out.
Sonic
All right,
X
let's
Shadow
let's
Generations
move it
24.
along. I'm crunched. I'm crunched for time.
Okay,
All right.
all right.
I'll freaking crunch you.
You know
Alright,
what?
you are.
Actually, hold on, Trey. Take this one because I've already seen what the next message is, and I want to address that one.
Okay. So, Mr. Terry Chaos with 2 croissants.
Those are
Appreciate
pounds.
it.
Those are we're not even in Europe.
With
But
two
we
with
are,
two
though.
lbs with 2 lbs. Thank you. 2 lbs. Congrats on the review code. Woohoo!
32
Yeah.
ounces.
Thank you for the.
Congrats, Pup.
Thank you.
I am proud of you on that. Now it's my turn next, whenever that may
I'm
be.
proud of you too, Trey. Okay, Booker.
Hopefully soon.
Yeah.
All right, Blinky with the $10. Sorry, Frank. Gotta tease you, but how does that humble pie taste? The whole lead up, you were doubting the cutscenes and animations and the 30 FPS cutscenes and the pop in and the game in general. But for real, love you guys. First off, please use punctuation. Jesus Christ.
Why do you need context?
What?
Context cues? Can't you read it? You're assuming you're silly. Sorry, hijinks over.
That's punctuation is.
No,
different
that's just
than
the
context.
that is just the longest run on sentence I've read in a while.
It's a
So,
clarification.
here's the thing.
goddammit. Okay.
Whatever.
Whatever.
Well, I play on console, and the cutscenes are 30 FPS. That's one thing, okay? That's always been a
They
thing
are
with
on
Sonic
PC as
games.
well.
Cutscenes tend
Yeah.
to be 30 FPS. So unless you use like something on like a mod loader to fix that, I really don't care because in the end we got a good product out of it. I don't mind being proven wrong because I've had my doubts about Sega for the last couple of years, ever since I started my channel as Knuckles Channel. And the fact that this is the first time that I've been completely proven wrong, I'm happy for that because it means that people get to play a great product as opposed to wondering what if. I know people enjoyed Frontiers. I know people enjoyed
nice.
Forces. I know people enjoyed Superstars. But this is the first time where I can be confident in saying, this is a great product. I would highly recommend it. So I don't have a problem with being wrong about it. So, but yeah, I thank you for bringing that up. And I'm glad people remember the specifics of my concerns rather than just saying I'm nitpicking. So
Also,
thank you so much for
It's
the
a very
super
nice
chat.
that you ended it with the love all you guys because we can tell it is a very nice comment, very just playful comment.
Yeah, no, obviously Blinky's being chill. Also, I do want
Yeah,
to talk
yeah,
about.
it's just,
I want to talk about Poppin', but I'm
it
gonna
does
leave it
feel
till
great
next
to
week.
not as egregious.
Mary Poppin?
No, we'll talk about it late next. There's a fun thing, but yeah, Frank, what were you going to say before I interrupted?
Oh no, I was saying like not as egregious. That was all. But yeah, no, it's fine.
Hell yeah.
Dylan, you're
I don't
up.
mind being proven wrong.
You're up with.
Let's go. What do we got? We got Blinky, $2 US. Minor spelling mistake. I lose on that last dono.
Okay. All right, dude.
Thank you, Blinky.
Minor spelling
Thank you very much.
Okay, so KB sends $9.99. Anyone here got the code for Classic Sonic Jam skin? I subscribed to the newsletter, but I still don't have the code. Pounds. I've heard.
Give it about a couple days or so because. I addressed it earlier on the podcast, but people on the Switch got their codes really early. I think it was when the early access began, and some people for PlayStation were getting them, but the codes were turning up invalid. Which yesterday, they were saying like, go ahead and use the codes again; it'll work this time. From everything that I've looked up, apparently they're going to start sending them out today. So I would still say sign up for the newsletter because you have until the 1st. And there's a very good chance you'll still get your code. If not, I would say reach out to them through social media because just be kind about it. They're having a long ass week.
Yeah, they are working very
and
hard.
weekend.
And it's not like an automatic system either to send these codes out. Apparently, well, at least with the codes,
no,
anyway. It's all personal.
Well, I would assume the other codes are they're probably a little more automated, but still, issues come up.
I don't have my Switch code yet for the Classic Sonic Jam skin, so it all seems to be pretty normal so far. All right, Borger. Frank.
Is it my turn?
Oh, right. Hang on, let me pull it up.
Oh.
Dragon fruit with the $20 US. What's everyone's favorite barnyard animal? I'm tired and I can't think of any good questions. Anyway, I like goats. So do I.
That's a
One of
great
them's called Sonic Adventure.
Like I like goats too, but I also love cows.
Yeah,
Cow.
I think I would go with cow or pig.
Cows got like really thoughtful eyes too. Like they're just so cute, like
they got thoughtful eyes. I love it.
Like
you know what? I can't decide between any of them. They're all like
friends. Like you'd be friends with them.
I've seen like pictures of like a dude who fell asleep in a barn and a cow was just like kind of spooning with him, and I'm like, I'd like that.
I don't know if I want that, but like
I'd feel
they
so
do seem
safe.
like good friends.
Imagine when you have like a dog on the bed or whatever, have a cow, you'd feel so safe.
Unless they tip over.
Well, don't tip them over then. Simple.
I wouldn't do that.
Hey, sometimes it might slip. Who knows?
Look,
you don't know.
Look, Cow 05 never slips, okay? Anyway.
Just go.
Trey.
We don't need to revisit that.
All right.
Cow 1.
With Lycion? I'm so sorry if I'm or Lycaon.
I guess.
Lycaon 222 with $2, I'm assuming Russian, is that correct? The R?
I don't know.
Let's
go ahead.
Know either.
I don't think that's Russian because I would say RUS.
Let's call them rubber dollars.
Yeah, Russian. Yeah.
Romanian dollars. But
that
appreciate the $2.
South African rand.
Oh, okay. Well, greetings. Appreciate you. Thank you for the donation. Eggman and Tails say that time is a dimension now.
There is a line.
I guess they're referring.
There's a line in Sonic Generations that does kind of acknowledge the dimension versus time thing. So I think they're kind of glossing over that, but it is still that Classic Sonic is a younger Sonic. I'd like it to be a splintered timeline thing where it's like now Classic Sonic can go off and do whatever adventures without being beholden to modern Sonic chronology. That way you can have like a Classic Shadow.
I think what is it? I think they're fixing that in the manual just for like clarification's sake.
Yes.
Because a lot of people like to just like be like very black and white about it, if that makes sense. It's either one thing or another, and there's no nuance in it. So they're just like, nah, we just want to like go ahead and just clarify that this is what we're actually meaning. And yeah, I'm with them.
Yeah,
makes
definitely,
sense.
Definitely. All right, Dilnor, you are up with the.
It's our friend Litseeve, the $2 US. Already modded playable Sonic in Shadow Gens. Wow. Oh, I haven't seen that one yet, but I've seen the Mario one.
I've seen that, and I've seen an Amy Rose one as well.
I saw the Amy one, yeah.
I think I've only seen the Sonic one. I had it recommended to me this morning, and I was like, I'm good. Don't have the PC version yet.
Okay.
Clearly, you only love one woman.
Okay. This is my one now. Mr. Krabs sends $1.99 US. Black Doom says, "Oh, my demonic pussy hurts, Shadow."
Okay, that was pretty
Also-
good. That was pretty good.
Shadow.
Actually, I don't know if I was gonna make a joke, but that might be spoiler territory.
I wouldn't say this is. I fucking love Radical Highway.
It's true.
That's where I was going.
Shadow, have you ever played Sonic Adventure 2 2001? It has a fucking awesome level in it called Radical Highway. It's really hard to do that voice after a while.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say,
I was just like,
that's
he is
very
straightening this
impressive.
shit up.
Yeah.
Like, oh, he is gonna hurt himself doing that.
Shadow, I love you. Okay, anyways.
Shadow, my son, I am so proud of you and everything you do.
I am very proud. Alright, anyways.
Shadow, it's time for baseball practice.
Dad, I don't want to go to baseball practice.
It's like, Dad, I don't like it. I don't like going to baseball practice.
Franken,
You'll go to it and you'll like it.
With the next
No,
of the
this is Dr.
super
Claw.
chats. Burger. Frank. Frank, I told
Wait,
you.
I'm up? Oh, okay.
Yes, Frank, for fuck's sake.
OZ Productions with the $2 US. Fun fact, Silver uses time stones in Archie.
Nice.
Yeah, so
But
it's
like
cats.
it's
Ian
not-
Flynn
okay.
wrote,
It's
by the
not
way.
canonical.
Ian
It's
Flynn
not
wrote it.
canonical with the games.
It doesn't need to be.
It's
It is
not
now.
canonical with the games. It actually has to be. I'm so sorry to tell you that.
Frank,
I'm sorry I bursted your little bubble.
idiot. Canon is whatever I choose it to be,
I'm
and
gonna kill my own
now
voice doing that.
it
I'm not
is
gonna do that
Radical
anymore.
Highway. Anyway,
I fucking love Radical Highway.
Shadow, have you ever been
Oh
to
god,
Radical
that was too
Highway?
much. Okay,
Trey.
I'm not doing that anymore.
You're up.
Huh? Wait, I'm up?
Yes.
Wait, hold on. Let me see it. Is it KB? KB.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
Okay. KB with the $9.99 US. Thank you, KB. Maybe Classic Sonic was feeling hungry for some chili dogs while Knuckles was worrying about his island. That's my head
He just wasn't listening to him.
He just wasn't.
No, he just ate Angel Island.
His head's
He's like,
empty.
fuck it, I'm gonna start eating some of these trees and start chowing down.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat Angel Island.
He's really enjoying that vegan lifestyle,
Sounds
you know?
delicious. Is that like angel food cake?
Like,
Yeah.
Porker.
That sounds like a Goku thing.
Dilnor, you're up.
Okay, is that Mr. Krabs?
Yeah,
Is
he's
that
really
this
feeling
one?
it,
Mr.
Mr. Krabs.
Krabs, $1.99. Wario time Friday. Wah.
Oh my god, it is Wario from the Wario Land video games.
Wario J. Where?
Oh my god, Wario J. Where?
Wario J. WarioWare.
Wario J.
The third.
Wario.
So Gun3er sends $2 US. Thank you, Gun3er. I say they should have used the 3DS Time Eater. Yeah, I would have liked that a lot. That would have helped.
Yeah. I kind of wish like they would have incorporated a little bit more elements from the 3DS version. I think that'd be kind of cool.
I just
At
wish
least
they'd
as,
done
like a
anything.
DLC
That would have
thing.
been nice,
Just
but
anything.
that would have been
Honestly,
nice. But, you know,
yeah.
they have a track record of never caring about the portable games, Sonic Colors Ultimate and such. So
Yeah.
I'm
That said,
not
when you
surprised
think
that they
about
didn't
it,
include
though,
anything.
They have folded some 3DS generations in there, in that you got the BioLizard boss and a fucking lot of Radical
That is
Highway.
Yeah, but it's not the exact. It's not like where it's exactly from the 3DS game.
No,
It
of
just feels like
course.
it's its own thing.
Any
It's
Bork.
still cool to see them see
Franken.
those in the game.
Franken, you're up with this next.
Wait, hold on. I thought. Oh yeah, okay. Sonic Fan 1661 with the $2 US. Sonic is not straight confirmed. Or
I mean,
oh,
that is
there's no question.
definitely-
Okay, so
I mean, yeah,
so you're confirming this, right? There's a Chow Mix video on that, right?
that's true.
Deshane
It's
That's
just
has
true.
made,
There is a Chow Mix video.
I think his Deshane in 3D has made an excellent video on like Son Amy lore, and it's very well made. So I highly recommend everyone check that out. Like, even if you're not a Son Amy fan,
There you go.
which I'm not, because I don't think Son Amy adds anything to either character. Like, it's still
even
a
if
very
this
good watch.
even if this topic means nothing to you, like there's a
It's-
lot
it's
of
a fun
there's always,
character
it's always cool to
dissection.
see like a video that yeah, that's like the appeal of it. It's not like, oh, you don't even have to be invested in it. It's like, okay, yeah, well, just out of curiosity, got to hear about this.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, next up, Ray.
All right. With KB again with 999 more US dollars. Thank you again. That's very generous. Amy was also still about to hug Sonic in the party. He just didn't push her away this time. Yeah, there's like a split second where you see like Amy like jumping towards Sonic and stuff like that. And again, like we were saying, it's not like a huge issue. I guess we were just talking about more so I guess like the politics of like rewriting over someone else's work or like not allowing these characters or not necessarily not allowing these characters, but I guess like having that illusion of growth kind of like stunted a little bit.
Yeah, I prefer the change. I think there's valid takes across the board. Just as long as you're not saying, oh, it's woke, then we're good.
Oh, right.
Well, she's mentally going like, oh yeah, oh, there's Sonic. Yet, or how the fuck's? I had lyrics in my mind where I was ready to start quoting something.
I wouldn't mind
Yeah.
painting myself blue for you.
What the?
That's the lyric from the song, from Sweet Passion.
Wait, oh.
Dude,
Oh,
Sweet
that's
Passion's
weird.
lyrics are fucking unhinged.
Yeah,
Those are
that
that's
song is
a
very
weird ass song.
creepy.
Yeah.
See, I'm glad we've moved away from that.
It kind of slaps, but like the lyrics are unhinged. Anyways.
Yeah.
Who's up? Is it? It's Dylan.
Yep.
Go on then, Dylan.
It's 3 Sonic or 3 Monic? Sorry.
Demonic.
Ooh, brain rot. Okay, $5 US and 3 Monic. Song of the day: Left Against
We're all
by
on that
Still
brain rot.
Ruins. Week's over, folks. Thank you for the recommendation.
Hell yeah. Oh, Borger. It's my turn. KB sends $1.99. Rogue the Bat, the Babylon Rouges. Treads on a butterfly in the past. Frank.
Okay, Mr. Krabs with the $1.99 US. Oh no, the grifter and their gooners are coming.
But they're coming in
See
two
what you've done,
different
pup?
ways.
No, they're only coming in. No, here. Okay,
You
you know what?
played,
I have
dude.
comments, but those are going to go too far.
Borger. Gray.
Give me just a second. Is it? Let me see. KB again. Me and KB just landing right here. With $1.99 US. Thank you again, KB. Pup ain't beating the furry allegations. It's like, in my opinion,
I
I,
think
don't
he's
know if
accepted
Pup
it at
is
this
even
point.
like. I think he's just. I don't even know if he's fighting against them anymore. I think it's just like,
he's
yeah.
fighting
No, I
for
think
them.
he's embraced it.
Let me tell you something.
I think he actually is encouraging it. Yeah.
Let me tell you something. I'm beating something else when I see that bat, is all I'm saying.
All right, dude.
The allegations, right? It's the allegations.
Is it?
Tell me it's the allegations.
Is it Dilnor time? I think it's Dilnor time.
I thought I just went. Oh no, yeah, you know what? We just went fast. Okay.
Oh, come on, man.
Sonic Fan 1661, $2 said they thought they were the horny one.
You're such a fucking coward. Has anyone told you that? You are such a coward.
Well, I'm trying to respect what they said.
No,
I'm trying to respect them.
You are
What they
not
said.
quoting them if you're changing the lyrics.
He's
Of course I am.
smart about
I'm
this.
quoting their intention.
You're so
Yeah.
lame. You're so lame.
Hey, keep
But,
reading. it.
hey, I'm just saying we all have our own styles and we won't change. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Anyways.
You're
You
all,
know what you're
you're
saying,
all
yeah.
bullying me. I'm just trying to be the voice of reason, and you're all bullying me.
Dude, the
Well,
day you're
dude,
the voice of reason is the day that I grow wings and
Dude.
fly away.
Dude, it doesn't matter what happens. I'll never give up the fight. You know what I'm saying?
Borger.
Like,
Okay, so let's seize back with $2. Wouldn't mind Rouge's prime design to be the new norm. I
new
want
norm.
normal beer.
I want normal Rouge.
What's that? Well, then in that case, yes, salty would still edge to her. So hell yeah.
what?
You wouldn't get
God damn, man.
There's a lot of context there.
a lot.
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, so now you want context.
Multiple
Okay,
days.
Salty05 once
Shut up, you dumb bastard.
Fuck you.
You're a pathetic little man.
I'll kill you. I'll fucking kill you, and then we're pathetic.
Oh yeah, buy a plane ticket, motherfucker.
In
I'm on my
Minecraft.
way.
In Minecraft.
I'm on my way.
In Minecraft.
To actually genuinely kill you, I
To
are.
Viridian
welcome
City.
you
Anyway.
into my home, and then I'll put you right above this thing, the X on the ground that has the anvil hanging underneath it.
That's fine because I'm wearing my anti-anvil hat. Anyway,
No takesies backsies.
Frank,
No
you're up.
anvil dropsies.
Yeah, well,
Am
I'm
I
gonna,
up?
I'm gonna
Okay.
fucking squash you with an anvil +1 to everything you say. Checkmate.
Twilord with the 5. I'm guessing that's euros.
Yep, there you go.
That's got to be euros.
It's euros, yes.
I don't want to watch people pretend to know. Okay, I don't want to watch people pretend to know Sonic stuff and be monstrous about it. I want to watch people who do not know Sonic and be delightful about it.
Well,
Yeah, like Moist Critical.
you better fucking
a great stream the other day.
unsubscribe to fucking
There's a
Dylan
couple
there.
of streamers that I've been watching who.
What are you
There's a
fucking
couple of
talking
streamers
about?
I've been watching who are either new to it or aren't as like, well, don't have the Sonic brain rot like we do, and it's been fun to watch them stream it and just get their reactions. And yeah,
I
Moist
agree.
Critical is one of them.
I
Yeah,
liked watching
it's
Metal
refreshing
Cube reacting
and
to the
it's fun.
fucking Frontiers boss themes. That was fun. They didn't know about Sonic, but they liked their music. And that was fun.
Well, there you go.
Borger.
Music is the gateway.
Ray,
KB, once again. Hello, KB.
good morning.
KB, how are you playing the game? Jeez, you're spending so much on the podcast.
KB robbed a bank just to give us super chat money.
KB is fiscally
Hey.
irresponsible, and I encourage it.
Heck yeah. KB with the 199. Thank you again. Super Sonic Maker win, Sega. Honestly, I'd
That'd
be
be
down
fun.
for it.
I wouldn't mind making love to Sonic's mum.
There is a
That wasn't even what he said.
no. That's not what anybody
Sega
said.
has Sega. There's so much potential in something like this, and I know fans
Yeah.
would just eat that shit up.
I will
Make
say
it
though,
happen. Make Sonic's mom. I'm kidding. Make the Sonic Maker.
See, you're
Honestly,
in on
in my
it.
opinion-
you fucking told me off early, but you're in on it.
in my opinion, go
No,
ahead
I
and
was
just
just
make the
fucking around
maker.
because I like doing that.
Go ahead and make the maker
You
3D.
tell.
In my opinion, like go
Yeah, I
ahead
agree.
and just like
I wouldn't mind a 2D and a 3D one, like as separate titles.
Alternative.
I the reason
Seriously.
why is because like I feel like that would really be like something like because it's no secret that like Sonic they kind of like take from like the Mario series and kind of do their own spin on it, and it's like why not just like go the extra mile and just make a 3D maker,
Alternatively,
that'd be
sell me a little box of blue colored clay and the other colors that Sonic is, and call it a Sonic Maker, and give me instructions on how to make my own little clay Sonic. I'd buy it.
Okay,
Honestly, a 3D Maker would be really good. Like I would just.
I would
if it
so
played
be
like
down
Shadow
for that.
Generations.
Yes,
If it played like Shadow Generations, give me that because I will just be making levels all the time.
It will play like rollers.
And then my fucking YouTube channel will just be like empty. It's like, where is he? Oh, he's still making another Sonic level. He's made like 30 at this point.
yeah,
Hasn't
Can we
released
make
any
a
of them.
1 hour long Sonic level?
I wouldn't
sure
even want to
can.
play that.
There's that one
Yeah,
person that
You can, but it won't be fun.
There's that one person that stacked up all of the Sonic Frontiers towers in a mod into one single
Oh, that's
tower.
a fun one. I really enjoy that one.
Fucking psychotic, but I love it. Okay, Borger.
I've had my issues with running that game, so
Is it?
unfortunately I haven't been able to play any mods.
I think it's fucking Dilnor turn.
Let's go. Let's see. I'm gonna scroll down the list for some reason. It reset since I clicked another Discord thing. All right, Maui. Is it Maui? Is that how you say that? Maui 21,
I think so.
23.
I think so.
Maui 23 did $10 US. I felt like they made Amy just content now. No more fire in her. No passion or drive. Knuckles, I feel like they don't know what to do with him. A cool stoic warrior or comedic dumb punch guy. Shadow X Gen Metal. Oh, good. Thanks for the $10.
Hell yeah.
Were you having a medical emergency typing that last bit?
It could be.
That'd be too mean.
Sorry,
like,
I
English
don't mean to
might
roast you,
not
I
be
just,
the
like, that
first
just-
language as well. Like, there's a lot of potential things.
Oh, fair enough.
Okay, yeah,
Could
you know what?
also
I'm
be,
willing to give you
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons why that.
Thank
might
you
not
for the
be-
$10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
No, we're appreciative.
At this point, my Opera has
Yeah.
fucking frozen, so I'm just gonna no longer copy and paste super chats and instead just, yeah. But anyways,
What are we gonna do then?
you can copy and paste the super chats.
Me specifically?
Oh, I don't know, one of you, please.
Interesting.
If one
I
of you
got it.
guys could get it,
Oh,
that would
wait,
be
never
great,
mind.
actually. Okay, Borger. Is it me? Okay, Haby. Good morning. Sends $1.99. I hope Kishimoto is taking notes from Shadow Gens. Me too.
No, I mean, he took notes from Frontiers and from all what people were talking about, so I think so.
Yeah.
I think it's a safe bet.
Yeah. I mean,
And
we
my
always
next-
say safe bet, but we've always been proven wrong. But it seems like they are proving us,
Well, they're
right.
really doing it.
Yeah, they're really doing it. Yeah.
We'll just see what happens in the next title.
Yep.
All right.
And when's it coming out? Come on, it's been so long since Shadow Gens dropped. I
Am
need
I
a
on
new
this
game.
one?
now.
Dude, the Sonic droughts are already getting really bad.
The
Sonic
drought
drought,
has the Sonic drought has started.
I just
Alright,
got
we
a
need to
Sonic
move
game
along, so
today,
we
man.
need-
They don't.
We really need to move along now. I'm kind of 9 minutes late.
Okay, Twilord with the €5. Chaos Spears / Control made ideas from Shadow 1 projectiles. See, someone said Shadow 1. Projectiles while running and
Because
Secret
you
Rings
would've
Time
bullied
Break.
him if he said Shadow 05.
Feel like they'd
No,
never
it would've
stop
been
refining
rightfully
them.
Correct.
Made ideas from Sonic 1 and Secret Rings. Feel like they'd never stop refining them. A little
I can agree
confused
with
on
that.
that one. Okay.
Yeah, no, as in it's better than it was before, basically. Like, the speed break and time
Oh, okay.
break
All right.
are two different things as well. All right, so next up, Borger. Ray, you're up.
Okay. Let's see. We have Seaman 79 $7.99 Australian dollar dues. Thank you, Seaman. 10 episodes left until episode 169, and we all see your top 100 hot Sonic characters.
We kind of have to do
Oh,
that
what
as
a
a
fun
tradition because episode
Yeah.
69 was hot.
Is there 100 Sonic characters? Is there 100 Sonic characters
There probably
that
is.
we
I
could
don't know.
even go
If we
through?
do that, you can kiss
Yeah.
any review code you ever got ever again. I'm goodbye.
No, not necessarily. There's a tasteful way of going about it. You know that all the people working at Sega want to fuck those animals just as much as you do.
Yep, that's
I think-
it.
there
okay,
goes our-
you know what?
there
goes
There
review
goes
codes.
There goes our future.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got a
Dylan.
review code 158 episodes into this nonsense. It's fine.
Well,
Anyway,
it's because now they're
Dylan,
going to pay attention
Don?
to what you're doing, pup. Now they're going to see what you're doing.
Now they know that you
yeah,
exist.
what I'm doing, not what we're doing. So relax. Okay. Anyways,
Yeah, even though we share the podcast.
Burger Dylan.
16 Sonic fans, 1661, $2 US. These arguments are so funny, LMAO.
I'm glad
you think that.
that you
It's all
find
just
it
fun and
funny.
games.
Come here.
It is.
All just
We're
fun
never.
games. I'm having
Yeah.
a nice little spat with my friend Channel Pup, and I don't hate him or not angry whatsoever.
Yeah, it's never serious until it is.
I'm gonna fucking kill you, dude. I swear.
Like this one. This one is extremely serious. It is not
Yeah,
funny at all.
yeah. In fact, every argument that we've had has been very serious. So
Our friendship is always riding on these arguments.
Oh lord. Okay, €5. If we call it Shadow 1, then we're considering Shadow Gen's Shadow 2. So can we get Shadow 3 and Knuckles
is.
next?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean,
I would
but
want that.
Shadow Gens isn't technically Shadow 2, so to be fair.
I mean,
It is the second
in
Shadow
all
game.
intents and purposes, like they have all the elements that made Shadow the Hedgehog GameCube.
It is
Except
the
on
second
Shadow Game.
dedicated
Oh,
Shadow
look,
game.
look, you had to come up with a qualifier. Someone's like, 05 was right there.
Oh,
Anyway.
qualifier! I know her acquaintance.
Anyway,
Anyways,
Borger. Borger, Frank. You're up.
Qualifier. I hardly knew her.
You're
Yeah.
up, Frank.
Thank you, Frank.
KB with $1.99. Sonato Generations. Yeah, I forgot I kept calling it that.
No, reread it.
Sonato Generations?
There you
what
go.
the fuck?
Oh, God. Wait, did you genuinely
better.
read that wrong the first time?
I
Yeah, you did. Okay.
Yeah, I did.
No,
I
I'm not
saw
like-
it and I
I'm not calling you out. I'm just
My
I'm
mind
just
processed-
funny that that's the case.
Oh, so you're not calling him out?
I
on
processed
things, but
it
you're calling
as-
me out on everything.
No, because he's funny and he's cool.
How the fuck? You're so mean.
I processed it. Jesus Christ. I processed it as Sonato Generations because I kept calling it that.
Oh,
That's
mean.
why.
Interesting.
What a hurtful guy. One
You guys,
like,
you guys
one
have heard me
prayer.
joke about this.
Okay, Borg.
Yeah.
Trey, you're up.
Frank is just funny.
Okay.
It's funny time.
All right. We got Mr. Krabs with 199 US dollars. Donald J. Pup McDonald Rock and Roll McDonald's.
Rock and roll McDonald's. That's a great
Whatever you
song.
say.
Now with now with E. coli.
Now with the McRib, which is in
in the
stock in the
onions.
UK. If you live in the UK, be sure to get your McRib while stocks last. Okay.
I ain't going to a fuck McDonald's anytime soon.
I want them to keep the
You know, I'm
McRib
not
as
going
a
to the E. coli's gun.
permanent menu item.
Yeah,
Anyways,
no. Apparently, it's in the onions, so
burger.
be careful out there.
That's my favorite part, dude.
I could tell that's your favorite fucking part.
Yeah.
When you have a to pepperoni, huh?
What was that? The fuck was that? That was so aggressive.
He's just hating on me because he knows that I'm correct in everything I say.
The poll said otherwise.
It's because he's bad at it.
The
He's
poll was
bad at
full
it
of
and
silly
spreading his
stuff. Sunset
negativity.
Sillies, dude. All Sunset Sillies responded to that poll.
Sunset Sillies. That's actually really funny.
You hear that, fans? He thinks
I like
you're
that.
silly. Anyways,
I do think you're silly.
I like that.
Okay,
If you
so
disagree with me.
Dylan,
Yes.
you are up next.
All right, Sunset Sillies. Behold. Let's see. OZ Productions with $2 US. Shadow Gens as possible Game Awards contender. Dude, I would say yes, but I
You,
doubt Jeff Keighley.
You want to talk about sillies? You just fucking skipped the super chat you were meant to fucking read.
C-Man with the $2.99 Australian dollar dues. Money.
That's not Australia.
That's okay.
Oh, wait,
dollar
yeah, there.
dues.
My bad.
I didn't register because the
Way to go,
burger
pup.
was,
There.
I'm sorry.
Uh,
All right. Okay.
and, oh, it's such a quick one. I wanted to read this. one, so
The thing that I
wanted to
pasted was the
silly
same thing.
and how silly he was.
I'll fucking
The thing I
take
pasted
you
was
to
the same
church,
thing,
I
so
tell
don't
ya.
worry about it.
Dude, I haven't been to church in so long.
Yeah, well,
I quit church a
Well, I'm
long time
taking
ago.
you there in a fucking coffin. All right. Anyways,
I went through 12 years of
Shadow Gens-
Catholic church education, and then I quit because I didn't believe in it.
There you go.
So
already got that.
Shadow Gens as a Game Awards contender, maybe family game. I don't know.
Family
that might be
Guy?
a bit of
Sorry,
a tough
man,
one.
by the way. I apologize for missing that.
yeah. Who's the sunset silly now? You're the sus. You're the loser.
I was a bit of a sunset silly there, but not as
You're the
silly
sauce.
as the people who voted in that poll.
You're a sunset sus.
You are the sauce.
Uh-oh, Skeleton's
You're the
here.
sauce.
You know what that means. It's the
Sauce?
end.
That's good, being the sauce.
Okay, Trey, play us out. Fucking say the thing. Do the outro.
Oh, do the outro? Oh, is that everything? Okay.
yeah, it's
Hello.
Yeah.
Are you sure there
Goodbye.
are more?
Is there not more?
You ask us what we're...
No, that was the last
That's
one.
the last of the super chats. You gotta ask us what we're up to. Thank you to everyone who super chatted and attended,
Okay.
by the way.
All right. Well, let's go through this quick. Dylan, what are you up to these days?
I am spitting truths.
Fair enough.
You.
Is there anything
And
else?
also, I released a video today about Shadow Generations modding. If you saw that Mario and Wario thing that was played earlier in the stream, that is actually in the video I released today as like the little closing thing. But it's a tutorial on how you can play the PC version with mods currently. And just to throw this out there, because I haven't seen anyone say it, but I just want to cover everything and say this is all legal stuff. You have to buy Sonic Generations on Steam to play these mods. So
Yeah.
buy Shadow X Sonic Generations on Steam with money, and then play mods and be happy. And also a new
money.
video on Sunday about just like Shadow Generations cutscenes and how much I cried and was a little baby about it. In a good way.
There you go.
CC good. Continue, Trey.
Okay. Frank, what are you up to?
Still working on the Sonic Generations without defeating a Badnik. I know that the remaster is out, but honestly, it doesn't change anything from what I've seen. So I'm just gonna roll with it.
Fair
I
enough.
thankfully don't have to record another game for 10 hours. Anyway, aside from that, I'm gonna make a video on Sonic X Shadow Generations. Talk about the remaster a little bit. Talk about Shadow Generations. It's pretty much whatever I've talked about here, but in more detail. So I don't know when that video is going to be out. It'll just be out at some point.
It'll be out when it's out. Good work ethic.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's going to get that reference. But
It'll be out when it's out.
Yeah, it'll be out when it's out.
It'll be out when it's out. We like that.
Yeah, we like that. Good work ethic. Thank God someone else got that. Pup, what are you up to?
I am also, in accordance, working on a Sonic X Shadow Generations review, but I'm also doing a Venom 3 review, so there's something a little different.
Ooh, looking forward to that.
Hell yeah.
Heck yeah.
All right, what are you up to?
Working on live music still. Nothing really
Hell
much
yeah, dude.
besides that. Nothing crazy. I've been recording a lot more, so that's been fun.
Love it.
Yeah, that's
you're
it.
gonna be at Expo, Sonic Expo?
Yeah, I am. I am the head of AV at Expo, so I will be there. So if you see me, don't
The head of adult
hesitate.
video.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
I'm sorry, it was
Hesitate to
right there.
say Hi.
No, that was good. I was trying to think of one, but I couldn't. I was very quick thinking, Frank.
Alright, so are we all done now?
He goes,
I think so.
I think so.
Well, you know what that means. Ah, pumpkin!
What
Ah,
does
pumpkin!
that mean?
Ah, pumpkin!
pumpkin!
Ah, pumpkin! 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 Pumpkin!